sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward sports clothes. Check out our full-line merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward sports merch today.
What up, though, people? Welcome to Wake Up Woodward. Thank you guys for choosing to kick off your day with the crew. We got a lot to talk about today, man. Look, the sun is shining. We're that much closer to Tigers' home opener, and I cannot wait. Mr. Flannel, how you doing? It's a crispy flannel today.
Oh, thank you. And that's a crispy jersey you got on. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that later because that is some that's some good news.
Yes, sir.
For absolute sure. I'm feeling pretty good. I wish I would have been able to watch the Tigers these last couple of nights, but the damn weather just won't cooperate. How frustrating is it? Rain outs, especially at the beginning of the year. You're so excited, you're ready to go, and then it's just postponed by rain.
Listen, if there's a silver lining here,
tell them.
It's the fact that the Detroit Tigers are still undefeated. We're going to get there in the rundown after we kick this thing with a broder. But also, you know what? I'll let you talk about
What? No, I was just going to say they're the only undefeated team left in the MLB. Don't you just love when you don't have to do anything? You can sit at home, and as the Tigers, I'm saying, sit at home and climb up the standings.
You know what? And
4-0, baby.
Tell the people what we're going to be talking about today.
We're going to be talking,
we'll jump right into the
honestly, not much Tigers say because we are going to hit that all day tomorrow. We'll preview a little bit, but we're talking some of these Lions transactions. Brock Wright, Kendall Vildor, they made some moves. There are also some other moves around the NFL that people are crowning another team out in Texas, maybe the Super Bowl champions of 2024. We'll see if that actually, if that trade puts them over the top. We got that. We got Doc Maakaron hopping on at 8:30. The Doc. He's here. Make sure you guys tune in at 8:30. Stay on till then. We're talking Mike Sainristil. We had my last big mock draft that I revealed had Mike Sainristil at 29.
Your last what?
My last mock. The big mock that I revealed last week. But I didn't get to hear Flannel's thoughts on it. It was like 50-50. It started with a lot of hate, but then it was like, there was more support for Mikey than I thought. So we'll see. I want to get Flannel's temperature. And then at 9 o'clock, it's a big second half of the show for mock draft.
And do you know why it's important that we get your opinion on this thing?
Why?
Because Mike Sainristil himself went on Twitter and shared it, added Aiden Hutchinson and said, let's get it. And he added grit, the keyword.
Keyword.
We got to talk about it. And we got our fellow Michigan man on the desk today. We got to talk about it. Shout out to our elite booth as well. Mr. KG, Detroit's #1 draft pick, and Woodward Sports' MVP, Mr. JB Smooth. So, we got to get around the city. Pistons.
How about that?
Pistons. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Creator player Malachi Flynn, 50-piece nugget and a loss. I like
crazy.
that. WTF.
Off the bench.
Listen, oh my goodness. I can tell you this, man. Let me stop playing. Malachi Flynn is not shy or bashful at all. Every game he plays in, he plays very, very direct, very, very aggressive. He plays to his strengths. Whether the shot is dropping or not, he just gets right after it. So to see this, yes, it's still very surprising. It's a 50-piece, man. It's a 50-piece. But we were talking about this before the game. Before the show started. About, was it surprising that they still lost? No. Listen, guys, the most surprising thing to me in this is that somebody on your team dropped a 50-piece. When I saw that they lost, and I knew that Cade Cunningham wasn't playing, I assumed Jalen Duren must still be out too. It was the anniversary yesterday. I wasn't checked in. I wasn't tapped in. I put do not disturb. The only email that I did get was Cade Cunningham was out. But I assumed, hey, you know what? The mouth injury that Jalen Duren had, he had to be out. No. No. 11 points. This is what I'm talking about. Look, bro will have 20 and 21 game, and the next game, 11 and 8. And these are the types of things I'm hoping. He's still a young player. I'm going to still be patient with him. I'm hoping that consistency is there next year. And then Jaden Ivey as well, 11 points. Marcus Sasser, 8 points. If those guys just had a pulse, I believe that they win last night.
And that's been a consistent problem, at least as of late. More so with Ivy, but also with Duren to an extent. And all season long, I think we've all been disappointed in his defense. His numbers look pretty a lot of the times, but if you watch the games, it's not quite what you would like in terms of rim protection or paint defense for all of that. And then last night, they both kind of dropped the ball when Malachi Flynn had 50. I mean, and that's the thing. And that's what I was kind of talking about yesterday with Jaden Ivey. Again, has another just horrific game, 3 of 15 in a very winnable game. And then, like he did the game before against Memphis, he was 2 of 8 from 3 in a very winnable game in which Cade played amazingly. He had an entire month of March where he shot 23% from 3. And then, oh, by the way, at the end of February, a 4 out of 6 game stretch, 2 of those games were okay, a 4 out of 6 game stretch to end February in which he shot 24% from the floor. Not from 3, from the floor. My point is that a guy like Ivy might be an example of somebody who is kind of dropping the ball as far as a teammate to Cade Cunningham. Maybe they're not a great fit. But it's also just unfortunate that they've still been so bad, even though Cade has played so well. And the fact that one of his teammates who I actually do think is a good fit with them, Simone Fontecchio, hasn't been playing either. There's just not a whole lot to cheer about right now.
It's not, man. They're going to set that franchise low in wins.
They are.
And it is very, very disappointing because they had some good stretches after they started making some trades. The defense improved. The offense looked better. And then those players got hurt. You're talking about 2 of your better three-point shooters on the team, and Simone Fontecchio out, and oddly enough to say, Isaiah Stewart.
It's true.
Isaiah Stewart. We should be able to say that Isaiah Stewart is having a good year. Not that he's one of our better three-point shooters. His percentage can be what it is, but we have guys on this team, realistically, whose three-point percentage should be better than Isaiah Stewart's.
Yeah.
And it's disappointing. I'm hoping that I'm going to continue to reiterate they are young. They are learning. They don't have the right vets around them, in my opinion. I don't mean just older vets like Taj Gibson, but those vets that can still play, that can still get after it, whose voices matter on the court just as much as in the locker room and in practice and on the bench. That, to me, is what they are absolutely missing. I get what Taj Gibson can bring as it relates to the practice, as it relates to, motivation from the bench, but you always need a couple of those guys that when they hit the court, the referees know who they are and respect them. The fans know who they are and respect them. And those players on that squad know who they are and they respect them as well. And they can absolutely get the job done.
Yeah, and this year it just hasn't been there. It's been, I think, and like I said before, I think one of the hardest parts about this season is you can look at some of the young guys, especially Cade Cunningham, and even to an extent Jalen Duren and Jaden Ivey at times, and I think Asar Thompson will probably find his way second-team All-Rookie. I think that would be fair, and they're still this bad. What does that tell you? It tells me maybe they don't fit, maybe coaching, all of that, but it all has added up to basically an ish sandwich of a season.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
You know what? Let's talk about a team right now that's actually undefeated. Hey, you see that second graphic up there?
I sure do.
Hey, we got to put that up there because, look, you guys, yesterday I made a graphic that had 3 different teams on there. 3 different teams. And before the end of the day, I realized I'm going to have to make another graphic that only displays one team. Yesterday, the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Milwaukee Brewers, and the Detroit Tigers all started the day undefeated. Thanks to a little bit of rain and thanks to the Tigers taking business when they did play, they now are the only remaining undefeated team in Major League Baseball. Nice. And I'll take that right now.
Oh, you would what you'd take that right now. A 4-0 start? Shoot, we would have taken a 3-1 start, but we're actually 4-0. And it like I said, it puts you in a situation to where even if the worst thing happens today, which I don't think it will, I'm not calling for it, and the Tigers get swept in the doubleheader, you still go to your home opener 4-2. We would have all taken it at the beginning of the year. Broder, you would have taken it.
Any day of the week.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd have taken 2-2.
Hey, so that's – but I think they're going to win at least one of these games. It's really, really hard to sweep a doubleheader, but if you can just get one, you go into your home opener 5-1, playing the lowly A's with the party that we're going to be having downtown.
It's going to be epic.
How do you not? How do you not?
It's already guaranteed to be a great day. And you know
Yes.
what? I got to kick this over to you, Mr. Broder. Because,
Can I kick it?
Yeah, because
Yes, you
with
can.
this doubleheader today, with this doubleheader today, the Tigers have done some different things with their pitching.
Yeah.
And originally there wasn't a guy lined up to be there to pitch on Friday. I need to hear you talk about this.
Bro,
man.
I can't. I don't think I can. I don't think I can talk with a smile.
You're cheesing, bro.
I'm cheesing. No, but because of this rain, the weather in New York, they had to both the last 2 nights. Their games have been postponed today. So we got Casey Mize on the bump at 12:10 today, followed by Matt Manning.
Yeah.
So Matt Manning was starting the year in AAA, but because of how this all worked out, they're bringing him up to pitch this game and pushing the rest of the rotation back a day, which means the Southpaw Tarek Skubal is on the mound for opening day. It's not official.
Go.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not official, like officially official yet. Is that what Tom Pelissero says, officially official? It's not official yet, but it's expected.
You know
they just
what?
haven't announced it.
Yeah. You know one thing that's very clear?
What?
The weather is a fan of Tariq Skubal.
Yeah.
The excitement already, like whether it's 4-0, whether they were 0-4 and Tarek Skubal was taking them out, like that makes it that much more exciting.
Yeah.
I can't believe we could be going into this opening day either undefeated, 5-1, or 4-2.
With Skubal on the mound.
And actually,
bro.
who's going to be throwing a pitch before Skubal
Oh, talk about it.
besides the away pitcher who will
Your
start?
two worlds collide, huh?
Yeah, Penny Sewell.
Let's
Penny
go.
Sewell's throwing the
Nice.
opening day pitch. The first pitch at opening day at Comerica Park tomorrow. Penny Sewell. All 6'10", 400 pounds of him off that bump. That's like CC Sabathia
Yeah.
from the right side. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's. I mean, who else than Penny Sewell at this point?
That's the perfect.
Yeah.
I never even thought, like, if you're going to pick anyone over me to throw out the first pitch on Friday, it's Penny Sewell. I can't even argue.
Yep.
Yeah. I do want to see at some point in time, I want to see them do something with Aleem McNeil and DJ Reader. I think that
Have
would be
to.
absolutely hilarious and the best content that we could ask for right now.
Did you see them going back and forth on it?
Yeah.
I know we're running through this, but like DJ Reader called Aleem McNeil out. I guess Aleem said he could take him deep or something. We're going to talk about that more, but you're so right. How cool would that be
That
if
would
we
be
could arrange? Now if it could be arranged for DJ Reader and Aleem McNeil to do something at Comerica.
We got to start that on socials, man. We'll definitely do our best to try and do that.
Seeing those two on a baseball field, though, those are some big boys.
Big boys.
And the
Pause.
Red Wings, man, their next game is Friday night at the New York Rangers. And you know what? You got me fired up, man. You got me so fired up that I don't even think about the patch anymore. Only sometimes.
Always sometimes. Hey, but if the Red Wings make the playoffs, then we're all happy.
We'll celebrate the patch.
Then I don't know about celebrate the patch because they still have a losing record, obviously, since they put the patch on the jerseys. I think sometimes we put a little bit too much into the patch, but as long as you also can call out poor play, I don't necessarily mind a couple of superstitions. But like I said yesterday, if the Red Wings can get a win against the Rangers at home, you should be ecstatic. If they can even get a point, I would be okay with that as well. Friday, to me, is not a must-win. But if you do drop that one, then your next two, home against Buffalo, home against Washington, those become must-wins. But it's going to be an exciting day tomorrow. I'm curious to see if anybody's doing the double dip.
I think CK might be.
Hey.
Says it's LCA. Tigers opening day with the Wings chaser. Count me in.
Hey, let's rock. Let's rock.
Get the chicken.
Let's rock. And you know what? Chauncey Billups, coming up next in this next segment, we're going to talk a little bit more about it. But congratulations to Chauncey Billups. You're talking about a well-deserved honor. He has been elected into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame for the class of 2024. And he was also elected with another guy, Vince Carter, who, in
Nice.
terms of his game, I absolutely love Vince Carter's game. I love how long he tried to stay in the league.
Yeah, man.
And when it was time, he was like, you know what? It's just time. But it's good to see those guys honored, especially our guy, Mr. Big Shot, had to wear the jersey in honor of Mr. Chauncey Billups. So I know we're going to get a little bit more into Chauncey Billups. I am not talking about Malachi Flynn in the next segment. I see it there. I am not talking about him.
You don't want to talk about Mr. 50 spot? You want to talk about Mr. Big Shot?
You know what? We'll give him, I guess, a little bit of flowers, just a little bit, man. It is 50 points, man, in a
Yeah.
Pistons uniform. So
In
we'll give him a
today's
little
NBA,
bit.
but you know.
We'll give him a little bit. We are
talk about this creator player.
Hey, look, I know we're giving away some more tickets as well, some more passes to the opening day fest. You guys can actually get a jump on that. Let's get this thing to 135 likes today. Yesterday it was 125. You guys raced past it. We put it up a little bit.
Can I be tougher on them? Can I call for 162?
You can.
You know what?
Talk about it.
Yeah.
You
Do
know,
that. Talk about it.
Actually,
we'll give away
2 sets. So we'll do it at 135, and then we'll give a second set, courtesy of John F. Lord. Unfortunately, our guy is not able to go on Friday. John, I know your dad's dealing with some health issues.
Yeah.
I hope he's all right. You're definitely getting prayers and thoughts from this crew here. I encourage everybody in the chat. So let's do that. At 135, we'll give away 1 set of tickets, and at 162, we'll give away a second.
That is perfect. And before we go to break, I just wanted to throw it over to JB real quick. Obviously, just so we can talk about some of the other things we're going to be doing a little bit later today. It's to honor our guy, Mr. Kloss.
Oh, yeah. We're definitely going to be honoring Jon Kloss later on today, just to let you guys know. I'm sure we've already talked about this before, but today is his funeral. We will be laying him to rest later on today. Visitations, I believe, is from 2 to 6 o'clock, or 2:30 to 6:30, and the service starts at 6:30. So I know a lot of us here are going to be attending as well, too. And if you would like anything for us to pass on to his family, please let us know in the chat or direct message any one of us here, and we can definitely send that over, those words and kindness over to them as well. So just appreciate you guys, man.
Thank you, man. Well said, well said. Still praying for his family. Continue to pray for us. Pray for the people that were especially the closest to him, like Mr. JB. He continues to be our MVP here. Working through some tough times. So no better way to segue. So let's get to Planet Fitness.
Yes, Planet Fitness is home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and we mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a full-body workout in just 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all of this for only $10 a month, no commitment. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Buying your first Feldman Chevrolet is much more than buying the car that will get you from point A to point B. It's a place for first memories, some big, some small. As she grows, you're not just buying her a Chevy, you're buying into a Feldman family. With more than 700,000 vehicles sold, from generation to generation, Feldman just keeps rolling.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week, walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
The new glorious ice water bubble hash pre-roll, now with diamonds, constantly pushing to create the best cannabis experience. The perfect boost comes from the added touch of pure THC diamond dust, allowing flower and the highest terps, making the best even better. So y'all know where to grab it. GloriousCannabis.com or Glorious Cannabis, or check us out at GloriousCanna2ns.com.
What up, though, people? Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. As always, we appreciate you, chat family. You're the biggest part of this show while we do what we do, while we try to bring the heat every single episode. Man, how you feeling this morning, brother?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about what we are about to talk about. And the funny thing is, I got some comments from our fellow coworker Easy, and even posted something on now X, formerly Twitter. Yeah. He thinks that I'm going to be upset about the recent news about one of our former Pistons. Contraire, mon frere. You go ahead and
Oh, no. I thought you were talking about Malachi Flynn.
Yeah, Malachi Flynn. Yeah, that's
who you're talking about?
No, I am not.
No, let's jump right into this, man. Chauncey Billups. I want to hear your take on this, man. I really do. I want to hear your take. I think a lot of people at the network are interested in this.
Of course, I love the fact that Chauncey Billups made the Hall of Fame, and there is an elephant in the room. I know that I'm the one who never has and still don't believe that Ben Wallace is a worthy Hall of Famer, but
He's right there.
I know, but it's well documented, and you can go back and look. I've given this take on air many times. One of my issues with the whole Ben Wallace being in was that he was the only one. I didn't think, and that to me implies that he was the most important member on that team, and I actually thought that Chauncey was the more valuable player. I mean, when it comes to Chauncey Billups, he was a 5-time All-Star. He was the point guard on that team. On any given night, he was the leading scorer. Him and Rip kind of averaged about the same during that time period. He was their leading assist man. He was their ball handler. He was their best three-point shooter. He was the finals MVP of the 2004 finals. And here's the thing. I actually think that performance gets a little bit underrated. I mean, he averaged 21 points, 5 assists on 51, 47, 93 shooting splits. 47%.
And nobody could guard him.
Nobody could guard him. And honestly, if the Pistons didn't win that 04 title, they're not revered in this town like they are now. They're just kind of another one of those teams who had a missed opportunity. So I really value that phenomenal finals performance by Chauncey, the fact that he won the finals MVP, the fact that after he left the Pistons, he went to Denver, made a couple more All-Stars, helped Carmelo Anthony make his only Western Conference Finals, being the leader on that team, being the point guard. I couldn't be more happy that another member of that 04 Pistons, a team that people think I hate for some reason, but I don't. I love them. Made the Hall of Fame.
You hate the heart and soul of that team. So.
I mean, I don't hate them.
You don't hate them. You just don't think they're in the Hall of Fame. Like, I completely disagree with the Ben Wallace take, but you have your reasons. Like, you're not hating on that team. And I like that point you brought. It's the fact that he was the only Hall of Famer from that team. I never thought about it that way. But Chauncey Billups certainly deserves. Like, having both of those guys in now, I dig it.
And that's what I've always thought. It wasn't just like, I wasn't picking on Ben Wallace in particular. I think when you made Ben Wallace the only Hall of Famer, I think it devalued some of the other players. I think, again, that's another one of the reasons why I personally believe that Chauncey Billups' finals MVP gets kind of underrated, even though he played so well. I mean, think about it. When you look at the guard play with both teams during the series, I mean, Kobe had his worst finals moment, and Chauncey Billups had an excellent finals. And that means something. They obviously don't win it without Chauncey.
That's true. And everything you said about Chauncey, spot on, no disagreement.
Yes.
The issue with Ben Wallace, and I didn't even know that this could divulge into this type of conversation.
You knew it was coming.
I'm on the desk, obviously.
Next season, with Ben Wallace not on the team, we saw exactly what was missing.
Well, the season
after, season right after. We saw what was missing. When they turned to Antonio McDyess, the team's defense, the team in the middle, the team's kind of focus on that aspect of the court. Things changed a whole lot. And we still had Chauncey Billups here.
No, I understand.
But that team did not look the same without Mr. I'm going to call him Mr. Fear the Fro, Mr. Big Ben.
No, and that's fair. And I've never once said, by the way, that he didn't deserve his Defensive Players of the Year, unlike Dikembe Mutombo. Speaking of overrated, but I'm not gonna go there right now. Ben Wallace did deserve the Defensive Player of the Year awards. My issue with him was always the fact that he was basically a nothing offensively, and I don't think defense on its own, even if it is on the 04 Pistons, one of the better defensive teams in NBA history, I don't think defense in and of itself, unless if you're talking about the NFL, is a Hall of Fame level skill, which is why I also don't believe Dikembe Mutombo should be in. I don't believe Ozzie Smith should be in baseball. I think it's an absolute disgrace. So at least I'm consistent with that. But yeah, of course, they don't win the title without Ben Wallace. Their team wasn't as good without him. But you can say that about all 5 of their starters as well, to varying levels. But we all know that they were a team.
Yeah, they were definitely a team. But I do believe that Ben Wallace was the only one on that team. Maybe, you know what? Let me throw Rip Hamilton. The guys that were absolute, like at the top of their positions, like studs. Rip Hamilton leads this franchise in playoff scoring. One of our better scorers in franchise history, just in general. And Ben Wallace was hands down just one of the best defensive players that the NBA has ever seen. To the point that if you remember the narratives during that time, sometimes when we get a little bit further away from those games, it does boil down sometimes to just the stats that we can remember because we miss some of those narratives. Ben Wallace was called one of the only players in the NBA during his era that could control the game completely from the defensive end, where other teams had the game plan because Ben Wallace was on the court. It had nothing to even do about what he could do on offense. Anything you got from him on offense, it was just a plus. But I remember a lot of the narratives, both nationally and locally, was that Ben Wallace was one of those guys that could absolutely control the game from just the defensive end of the court. And for the Pistons, obviously, Chauncey Billups, because this is who this is about.
Yeah.
He was one of those guys that when you talk about when Larry Brown got here and that phrase that we heard, learning to play the game the right way. When Chauncey Billups, before he got here, he was bouncing around the league. He was one of those few top draft picks that was traded in his rookie season. Went to a couple different teams, 6 years, and a lot of people wondered, who is this tweener? Is he a point guard? Is he a shooting guard? When Detroit made, and shout out to Joe Dumars, man. Shout out to Joe Dumars, the architect of that team. Whatever he identified in Chauncey Billups, and then whatever he identified that he needed in bringing in Larry Brown to kind of help be this kind of finishing coach for Chauncey Billups, it took things to a completely different level for him, and he became a legend after that.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that you mentioned that because before Chauncey Billups came to the Pistons, before he was coached by Larry Brown, his NBA career was a disappointment. But he comes to the Pistons, we all know how great of a coach Larry Brown is. He learns how to become more of a winning player, how to make his teammates better, and pretty much from there on, like I said, his entire career with the Pistons, his couple of years with Denver, he was a consistent all-star, Hall of Fame level player.
It hurt so much to see because remember when he got traded, there were a lot of fans who were like, yo, this hurts. Now, I'll be fair with you, shed a little tear, man, on the day that he was traded. That hurt. That broke my heart. I was like, Joe, what are you doing? You mean so much to this franchise through 2 different eras and 3 championships. What are you doing? But there were people on the other side of it saying, well, we have to do this. The team, they're not, Ben Wallace is gone. This team is starting to fall apart. Rasheed Wallace's effectiveness had waned. And people thought, you know what, you got to get the cap space and you got to spend it the right way. And to try and use that thought process to cope, and then you see him go to Denver and still ball out, if not the same, if not better than what he was doing with the Pistons. Seriously. It was just like, oh my gosh.
And then we got the corpse of AI that was going down to Greektown, man. No offense to AI, one of my favorite players ever. But
bro, not just the corpse, but what jersey number did he wear?
1.
Dog, my heart.
Yeah.
My heart. Like I'm so serious. Like that to me, the Reggie Jackson coming in wearing number 1, that stuff, I was just like, y'all got to stop playing, man.
Yeah, for real.
Y'all got to stop playing. That hurt my soul, Flannel.
Yeah, I don't blame you because KG, I'm not a huge Allen Iverson guy, and the fact that he came here, and
you just keep them coming, don't you? You just keep them coming, man.
No, wasn't the answer. No, we obviously know though that I think you foresaw this, and a lot of us did, that Chauncey had some really good years left. I'm not saying that the Pistons would have won again, won another championship, and I guess that in and of itself means like, what did that trade really matter so much? And Chauncey, I think, had a better situation for him at that time in his career. But yeah, I don't blame you at all. I mean, the point is that Chauncey Billups is one of the greatest Pistons of all time.
Yeah, definitely. One of the greatest Pistons of all time. And I believe this. I'm going to say this. One of the greatest leaders of all time.
Mm-hmm.
That team, they won as a team. And there's nothing I'm ever going to take away from that squad at all. It's cool, too. We found the right picture, man. They got our guy Lindsey Hunter up there as well.
Yeah, shout out to Lindsey.
And we got Memo up there. I love it. It's time. Anything left on these Pistons, man?
I'm still stuck on the Ozzie Smith shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame comment. I'm thinking I'm letting that simmer. No, but we got some questions for Doc coming up next segment. You guys painted the picture for Chauncey perfect. One of my favorite players of all time. That shot off the backboard in the triple overtime game against the Nets. I can't believe that they lost that game, but that was one of the coolest shots I've ever seen.
Never forget it.
Yeah. One of the plays that I always remember before we get to this next segment is Chauncey Billups in the finals. And it's the crossover that he put on the glove, bro. Mm-hmm. It's this one where he crosses to the left, and right when Gary Payton settles in, just right back to the right, and he goes in for the little layups he used to do.
Yeah.
The little
finger roll.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful, man. That play, that's one of those plays when they ever show those highlights from them, that's one of the ones they always show, because Kobe was also in the scene as well.
Yeah.
You talk about them trying to stack the deck as it relates to defensive guards, and Chauncey Billups and Richard Hamilton absolutely said it doesn't matter. Gary Payton, Kobe, it's not going to matter this series, man. It was beautiful basketball. It was beautiful.
It was one of the most, like I said, I know we can talk about Rip as well, but at least when it comes to Chauncey Billups, one of the more underrated, phenomenal performances by a guard in finals history, just with the efficiency as well. Like, in terms of true shooting, that's got to be one of the best ever in terms of a guard in a finals, because of the free throw shooting, the 3-point shooting. There was no wasted moment with Chauncey in that series. He was immaculate.
Immaculate, man. One of the best.
Yep.
One of the best. And you know what, man? Something else that's the best? It's where I take my pet lion.
There we go.
My pet tiger. My pet golden grizzly. You know what? Even my pet Wolverine, man. We adopted a Wolverine now. We go to Premier Pet Supply because it's hands down Michigan's best pet store. Same prices and all the conveniences of the online and big box retailers, with one major difference. They've been family and locally owned for over 30 plus years. How's that for Detroit Fresh, everybody? Over 60 brands of food and nutrition experts to help you. Same day, local curbside, and home delivery. Premier Pet Supply. Give your pet the best at www.premierpetsupply.com.
First pick in the 2024 Media Draft, Detroit selects Woodward Sports. Thank you for making us the #1 digital network in Detroit. Every year, after a cold and dreary winter, Metro Detroiters come together for two things: Tigers baseball and the best damned party in the world. A new season of Tigers baseball is here, and we're bringing in the new season as only Woodward Sports knows how. Broadcasting live from the biggest party. It's the Grand Slam Festival at the Detroit Opera House. Come party with 4,000 Detroit sports fans, starting with Wake Up Woodward and rolling into Big D Energy. This is a party you don't want to miss, with Detroit's best DJs, food trucks, and of course, shots. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFest.com. 21 plus. See you April 5th at the Grand Slam Fest.
Awesome is when a guy can be a guy and get an amazing haircut. That's Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Stop in, sit back, and relax, and let one of Lady Jane's talented stylists make you look and feel great. Walk in anytime, 7 days a week. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome. What up, though, people?
What up,
welcome
though?
Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. And I'm glad we got Chauncey Billups even a little bit more screen time. That was pretty dope.
Hell yeah.
Man. That's pretty dope. But chat family, as always, you're a big part of this show. Smash that like button. We're trying to get to 135. And we give away another pass to the big opening day party tomorrow at the Opera House, where we will be broadcasting. And then at 162, we give away another pass. It's going to be epic, man. It's going to be epic. I know chat family's going to get us there. But right now, we got to talk to our special guest of the day, the Doc.
Doctor.
Sports Illustrated, All Lines editor and publisher, and host of the Detroit Sports Podcast, and just overall good guy. You cover really everything, man. It was dope catching up with you.
And he's a
March
crystal
Madness.
ball knower. The man made himself a prediction about Malachi Flynn. I'll let you open this, but the dude has a little crystal ball there in his office.
NBA, NCAA, baseball, football, you're just the man.
Fellas, thank you so much. Looking forward to the chat. But before we get going, I need to know the facts. You got to drop the facts on me, Kool-Aid. Have you been flirting with Rod Beard? I seen the way you've been looking at him. I seen what he's been posting online. Have you been peeping into his office, asking around a little bit? I know that potentially there's an opening for the Detroit News.
Oh, I love Rod Beard. I love Rod Beard. He's a great guy. That's my mentor. And He's a good man, good family man.
He's not flirting. He just had his anniversary, Doc. And that chain, that necklace he's wearing on that chain is actually hooked in to the back of the wall there. We're not letting that man leave.
Listen,
Love
anybody would be lucky to have you guys. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Look forward to it. What's up? What are we talking about today?
What are we talking about?
You know
today?
what? I actually have.
Let it fly.
I have a question, Doc, and this is something that unfortunately me and Broder didn't have a chance to discuss before you got on here. But the whole matching the Brock Wright offer, I am a little bit like, I don't know if I would have done that. $4 million a year for a Brock Wright. Tell me why I'm either right or wrong, John.
No, absolutely. I think that, look, you see the philosophy that the Lions are trying to deploy, and it's reward their own. Brock Wright is a blocking tight end that really fits everything that the Lions are looking for. So it's a decent signing. It's not really going to destroy the cap. I think I saw they still have over $25 million available to handle business. So look, with Dan Campbell being a former tight end, you recognize a guy that's been in your system, and the philosophy of the Lions has been to reward their own. So good for Brock Wright. Went out there and leveraged himself. The agent got him another offer from the 49ers, and he comes back, and the Lions had 5 days. And for the Lions to actually decide to keep him really shows their commitment to a player that when he was called upon did everything well, blocks, made some plays, and I think can develop further in the passing game. So you look at it, it's not prohibitive. And these contracts, you recognize a couple million more, while, it's not exactly what the plan was. But for the Lions, I think it's a win-win. If you don't feel like he's a player that contributes anymore beyond 2024, you can move on, and it won't kill your salary cap. So he's a good player. And when you got Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery having a solid blocking tight end that you know what he can do, then I think it was worth it to keep him around.
Definitely. Hey, Doc, you know what? There's been some news of players that may or may not have been run out of town because of fan criticism. But one of those guys who was also getting fan criticism, Kindle Vildor, he decides to re-up with the Detroit Lions, face the music, and try to do something different to rewrite his story here. Can you tell me about Kindle Vildor, whatever you're expecting of him, where you think he's going to be placed in this depth chart, just whatever's on your mind about Kindle Vildor, because that was an interesting one. I know we were talking about it earlier before free agency started about which players we want to see the Detroit Lions bring back, and Vildor is actually one of those players that I talked about, and so I'm interested in your take on Vildor, as well as how he handles the criticism versus guys like CJ, GJ, and others, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt. It's interesting, guys. You're seeing, and it's clearly been a situation probably impacted for a lot of reasons, maybe gambling, maybe, just the easy access that fans have to these players. So guys like Josh Reynolds, when they have 2 drops, CD Deuce, when he has a bad game, Vildor, when the football hits his helmet and bounces off instead of making the play, he heard it online from the Lions fan base. And sometimes you're not going to get nice messages. And that's why in our talks and what I've said on the Detroit Sports Podcast, these guys being online so much is a little unusual. I think they should completely during the season stay away from that, because a lot of the times the only time a person's going to message you is to drop a nasty message online. And then when you acknowledge it, it doesn't make the person go away. It just adds fuel to the fire. So Vildor probably got a lot of criticism for the play that he didn't make. And it's unfortunate. It's something that's going to stick with him for the time being until he makes another play. But look, I know people look at certain players and they re-sign and things like that. But to me, he's a role player. He's QB4, and he'll get out there and compete. But in terms of impact, he's a veteran. He's somebody that, clearly understands the NFC North, having played for the Bears. He has a relationship with one of the coaches in Deshae Townsend. So to me, he's just a player that is just average, just does everything pretty well, not going to do anything spectacular. He's not going to light up the stat sheet. And in the end, it's unfortunate in similar fashion like we talked about last week. If Kindle Vildor is out there for you in the defensive back spot, something terribly wrong has gone on with Carlton Davis, Amik Robertson, and hopefully a returning healthy Emmanuel Mosley. He's a depth player, role player, but but I don't expect a lot out of him. I just need, hopefully, a little bit of a rebound from that disastrous play that he should have made against the 49ers.
Well, a rebound and Vilder, I don't like those two words
Oh,
together.
yeah.
But to confirm, Doc, he is a depth piece. They didn't bring him in to be the number one receiver. Like I felt that out of the reactions from most of the people. He's a depth piece.
Yeah, exactly. And here's the thing. When a play like that happens, many people are just expecting Brad Holmes to go, all right, see you later. But you got to fill out practice. You got to have 4 or 5 defensive backs. And also at the same time, it's competition for the likes of Stephen Gilmore. So it's fine. Yeah. It's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt anything. More competition is something that is never a bad thing. But, you look at it and you say he's not going to factor into a lot of the results for the Lions in 2024.
Yeah, it's interesting to see with these re-signings and the expectation that Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn are going to move on eventually, the confidence they have in Brock Wright and what he can bring to this team for 3 years, even after you're expected to lose that, versus a depth piece for 1 year, a 1-year contract that Vildor signed, and Aaron Glenn, excuse me. Oh my gosh, Anthony Lynn. Aaron Glenn is going to move on. But I want to ask you, there are 2 players that recently left the Lions, and I want your opinion on which was more polarizing of an exit, because it seems the tune has changed on Josh Reynolds a little bit, but I went pretty far to defend C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and that man flip-flopped as well. Just what are your thoughts on those 2 exits?
Yeah, it was interesting. Clearly, 2 different ways of approaching it, where Josh Reynolds made the public statement indicating his thanks for the fans. And look, whether the situation regarding the fans messaging him played a part, the report was from one of the great beat writers out there, was that his entourage, people in his camp said, hey, potentially some of that noise that came after his drops, maybe you don't want to catch all that smoke. So I'm sure probably a supportive family member, when he heard about what was being said about him, probably said, hey, that's not stuff you need to be hearing. You're a good player. Look what you did, and look at the response you're getting for a game in which you had 2 drops. But I don't think it factored into his decision. Bottom line, in the NFL, the biggest factor for most players is the cheddar. And the Broncos gave Josh Reynolds enough money to say, okay, you're showing a commitment to me more than the Lions did. You showed me the love, so he bounced. But, of course, Josh Reynolds heard a lot of nonsense online after a game in which he had 2 drops. It was just critical. It was a game in which you cannot have a bad game in that moment. But now on the other side of it, CD Deuce, he's not going to sit there and take nasty direct messages from fans regarding his play, especially knowing that he spent an entire year trying to get back when he really didn't have to. His money would have been guaranteed. He could have sat back and collected a check. So you see 2 different types. You see the more professional side of things, where Josh Reynolds is just like, whatever the rumors are, whatever Doc is spreading on his platform regarding what's being said about me, he's going to take the more professional approach, put out a lovely statement, get all the fans behind him. And then you got C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and he goes scorched earth, just taking it all personal, too emotional. I understand that side of it when you're a player and you have this big ego and you're somebody that you think should be beloved, and you say, hey, I brought this swagger, I fought my way back. Why am I getting dissed? Well, you're getting dissed because you talk shit and didn't back it up. And the Detroit fan base does not like that when you're waving to the crowd at halftime and then playing a game in which you're missing tackle after tackle and you don't back it up. That's the one thing fans of Detroit don't like. And especially knowing that Dan Campbell told them in that game, don't take a penalty. Don't, get caught up in the nonsense with Deebo Samuel. What is the first thing you do? He shoves him down and takes a personal foul penalty. So it's the antithesis of what the Lions culture was really about. But to me, I love the emotion of that. These guys sometimes need that inner fuel to get them going. But to me, what was insulting was, you're going to talk shit. Why are you going to delete it on Twitter? Because the fans are going to chirp back at you. Why'd you delete it? That means you want to start shit, but then when the flames get hot, you run away. I'm not down for that.
Hey Doc, so I wanted to ask, we saw the news about DJ Reader. He was recently on the podcast, and pretty much the Lions organization locked him in the building and made him sign a contract with the Detroit Lions. But there's been rumors about Tyler Boyd possibly being a signing that the Lions are interested in. Do you think he's a good fit? And just what is your opinion about him possibly being that wide receiver 3 for the team?
Yeah, no doubt. I think the biggest con is the asking price, and it's probably what's kept a lot of teams away. They're trying to bring down the price. You're hearing numbers north of $7, $8, $9 million that he could be seeking for a player that's probably going to be a wide receiver 3 in this offense with J-Mo and Amon-Ra St. Brown. To me, I think that it's a player that you always look at teams with good offenses, and the report was that the Lions had early interest. Well, they didn't get the deal done, so I think he's a good player. He would add to what the Lions offense can accomplish. But to me, I think that you roll with the guys you got on the roster. I think a player that Broder and I kind of watched throughout the year, Antoine Green, from the time of training camp where he was lining up improperly to the times that he grew throughout the year in regards to just some opportunities that he got. I think Antoine Green really fits the mold of what the Lions could be looking for. And then you got Khalif Raymond as well and a potential draft pick. So to me, I would be a little bit surprised if Boyd is on this roster, but if they do make the deal, I think that he's a player that can contribute real solid. When you see the numbers, he contributed well for the Bengals. But I just think that the Lions, in terms of the wide receiver spot, you can go a little bit more affordably and get a good player in a draft. And you're hearing a lot of people that are talking to me are telling me that the Lions are doing a lot of homework on these wide receivers, and that could mean in the first round, or that could mean depth, a player on day 2 or 3. There's a lot of good wideouts that the Lions could add that fit the mold, that are what you would call Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell guys.
John, you're speaking my language. We don't need Tyler Boyd. A draft pick, a cheaper draft pick would do just fine, in my opinion. But I want to go back to the CJGJ thing, because at Woodward Sports, me and Easy were just basically on an island. It was just us versus everybody else. So let me ask you this, Doc, because I was not surprised about how CJ Gardner-Johnson kind of reacted on social media after all of this. And that's one of the reasons why I am so happy and getting happier that he's out of Detroit. Were you surprised by how he went off on social media?
No, not at all. The man's emotional. The man spends his time online. You see him at his locker room on the phone. He's checking things. And look, I understand that you want to kind of get a sense, a pulse of what people are saying. But listen, if you're online, a lot of it is toxic just by nature. Twitter in and of itself is just a toxic place where people talk shit and they feel like they can just say anything to an athlete. Well, some athletes are not taking it anymore. A guy like CJ is a guy that's just not going to say, well, just you can tell me, that I suck and that I'm worthless and that I don't belong. Where he's like, I'm one of the top paid safeties in the league and people clamor for me. So these guys got egos and they're very sensitive. They don't want that to be out there. So look, to me, it's always interesting to see how a player reacts to that kind of stuff. But no, absolutely not. From the moment he stepped foot onto the practice field, we were like, whoa, this cat's different. He was bold. He had a lot of bravado. He was not a guy that was just going to sit there and take it. And it's fine. But to me, it always feels like in that situation, you're always going to fight an uphill battle because there are way more trolls that are going to message you than they're going to be supporters that show you love. And to me, I just think that it's unprofessional. I think that that's something that if you're a weak-minded player and you have to go online and see what the doc is writing about you, something is terribly wrong because like they say all the time, I'm not in the meeting rooms. I don't know what the plan is for what CD Deuce is supposed to accomplish on each in every single play. My job is to react to what I see with the knowledge that I do have. And to me, while we give informed takes, there's going to be some things that we don't know about. So I think it's incumbent. The reason why you're getting paid north of $5 million a year to play in Detroit is to block out the noise, to make sure your focus is to perform at the highest level. And he didn't do that. He fell. He lost the battle to Deebo Samuel in the shit-talking game, and then it carried over to the field. And that's where the biggest problem is. There's a fine line, an ever so fine line between being emotional and being reckless. And CD Deuce was reckless, and that's why he didn't come back, no doubt.
You know, that's well said by you. It definitely puts a bow on that thing. Everybody's had a lot to say about CJ GJ. And I think today, a lot of us, since this news has kind of come out, a lot of us are more kumbaya and kind of probably all in the same circles on this thing. But just one more question before we let you go. We're going to be talking about Michigan man, cornerback Mike Sainristil in our next segment. I just wanted to get your quick take on who you think he is as a player. There's been some pretty bold statements made by national media, not just our very own Matthew Broder. In his last big mock, in Broder's last big mock, he had the Detroit Lions selecting him at number 29 on social media. It blew up. Mike Sainristil even shared the post. He added Aiden Hutchinson. It looks like this is something he wouldn't mind at all either. What do you think about Mike Sainristil, the player, as well as Mike Sainristil to the Lions?
Yeah, no doubt. Now, let me tell you something funny about the whole draft process, because a lot of the times you reach out for interviews throughout the year with professional athletes, and it's a little bit more challenging. Well, around draft time, all the representatives of college players definitely love to reach out and say, hey, can you sprinkle a little positivity about my athlete here? And it's always funny, the workout centers that reach out and kind of say, hey, kind of interview this guy and plug our workouts where the draft prospect is working out. There's a lot of positivity that's shown this time of year. And I love Broder putting Sainristil on number 29 and then sharing it with him like he's going to not see it and go, oh, that's a great idea. It's a job interview. Sainristil is going to say the same thing about the Texans, about the Jaguars. So it's
sounds like his football IQ is high.
His football IQ is very high. They want to promote themselves to land any opportunity. And look, man, we watched him having an opportunity to catch a couple games, being a credentialed media member now. Definitely took advantage by going to a couple Michigan State games, couple Michigan games. And you just see a guy in Sainristil that's just all over the field, a guy that is a gamer, an individual that I think any team that adds this player is going to be very much rewarded. And sometimes, you know, this is a player that's not going to stack up in terms of the measurables, but when you see what he's able to accomplish, I just think that he has a chance to kind of have a long-term career because he's a student of the game. I think that Michigan prepares their athletes better. They're second to none in terms of their preparation. Is he going to go in the first round? I doubt it. Is he going to go to the Lions? I doubt it. But I think that when you see a player of his caliber, you see a player that is going to catch the attention of a couple different general managers. And I think that when you just look at it, man, the way in which the Michigan program really rebounded after a couple down seasons and then just kind of now rebuilt themselves and were able to get to the college football playoff. One of the key players was Sainristil. So I think that he's going to have a bright future, and one in which, you know, the team that selects him is going to get a gamer and somebody that's going to be in the National Football League for a very, very long time.
Doc, JB over here, I gotta ask you because I see the Cody Rhodes weight belt in the back.
Hey.
So I just gotta ask, this Sunday, will Cody Rhodes finish the story, or will Roman Reigns reign the tribal chief as your champion?
Oh, JB, I love it. Yes, I'm a big wrestling fan. Also have a wrestling podcast, comes out every Sunday. Doc and Jock Wrestling Podcast.
Hey.
Grew up loving wrestling. Now when you have kids, there's nothing better than taking them to the arena and letting them scream their head off. I also got 3 championship belts here to my left. Absolutely. Cody Rhodes is going to finish the story. I'm going to pop. I'm going to jump out of my seat when it's 1, 2, 3. WrestleMania 40, it's going to be spectacular, a spectacular event all week long. You're seeing the CM Punk interview, which has shaken up the wrestling world. Cody Rhodes, definitely talking to Ariel Helwani, who you can learn a lot from in terms of how he interviews. I love WrestleMania week. You get a lot of insight in regards to the world of professional wrestling. It's a big event. If you're not a fan of wrestling and you just want to see what all the noise is about, it's a new era. Triple H is just running the company in a manner that's taking it to the next level. Cinematic presentation of the WWE programming has been spectacular. You got The Rock coming back, which has sent shockwaves through the wrestling community. Cody Rhodes is a legend, and having him lose last year and the movement, we want Cody coming out of what happened from the Royal Rumble, I think is going to make it so that it's going to be a special moment. Just like Daniel Bryan 10 years ago when he won it. The crowd is going to go crazy in Philadelphia. There is no way there's no way Roman Reigns can win it because it's in Philadelphia. Those people might come to the ring and just strip Roman Reigns of the belt there in front of everybody.
Seriously.
That might be true. I appreciate that.
Doc, thank you as always. It's always a good time to have you on. I know that we're always going to get the best information, the best news, and with a little bit of humor and hubris as well. You bring the heat every single time. Publisher of All Lions and host of the Detroit Sports Podcast. And what's the wrestling one again? Plug that one too.
Yeah, no doubt. Doc and Jock Wrestling Podcast every Sunday, breaking it all down, all the shows, all the events. We love breaking it all down. And I know, Kool-Aid, I know you're flirting around with Rod Beard and trying to get graces. But I'll say this. Broadcasting has its own unique flavor. Stay with it, man. You guys are doing great. I love the crew that you guys have. Love coming on every Thursday. I look forward to it. Firing up the microphones, talking Detroit sports.
Hey.
And now maybe you'll take me seriously. Malachi Flynn feature. Who the hell? Who the hell is this guy? He drops 50. Never heard. I was on Twitter, and I'm like, Malachi 50 points. Oh, Pistons lost, of course.
Yeah.
Who is this guy? Don't know. I still don't know anything about him. So get an interview. Let's go. Let's learn about this guy. That one of the rare feats you're going to see in a Pistons uniform, 50 points. And you never know. Maybe we can trade him for a first rounder. Let's go. Let's get something for him.
The first rounder.
Hey, you know what, man? If there's any way to kind of laugh at our pain over that loss last night, I know that the Doc is somebody who can make that happen. Thank you for joining the show as always. We appreciate you, Doc. You guys, make sure you check out all the content that he is involved with. Great guy. Hey, see you next Thursday, brother.
Thanks, Doc.
And go Tigers.
Let's go. Let's go, boys. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. And you know what?
I love that man.
I do too, man. Great guy.
How do you
Great
not?
guy.
Yeah.
And you know what? Let's talk about Mike Sainristil real quick because I want to make sure we can get to
It's almost
the
9
Brothers
o'clock.
Big Mock at 9 o'clock.
Okay.
So hide your kids, hide your wife. You already know what it is.
Yeah.
But you know what? This from, and I think you'll like this, the source is PFF.
Hey, yeah.
He's one of the top football players in the class, regardless of position. That's via PFF Trevor Sakima on Mikey Sainristil, Michigan cornerback. I know a lot of people, they want to kind of pigeonhole him into just one position. But I think we got some highlights here, and it's the return of play-by-play Flannel.
Oh, yes.
A little bit.
Hey, hold up.
It's one of my favorite segments.
Hold off a second, JB, because I just want to give a couple quick thoughts on Mike Sainristil because it's hard for me to be objective because I love that man. He's one of my favorite athletes ever. How could he not be? He was one of the stars of Michigan's national championship team. He damn near had a pick 6 in the national championship to close it out, but he did have that pick that he returned to like the 6-yard line. When it comes to Sainristil, before I give the highlights, because the highlights are obviously the highs, if there's any concerns about Mike Sainristil, I would say is that against the run, he's not quite as good as you think he would be, given the fact that he's sort of that football player who flies around the field. He struggled a bit against the run. And as far as being a kind of a coverage technician, that's not really who he is just yet. He did make a lot of plays, but he did give up a lot of plays as well. He gave up 4 touchdowns when targeted. And as far as man coverage goes, that's not really his strength either. He's played the majority of his snaps as a defensive player, as a slot corner, which are needed in the NFL. But I personally think that there's a chance that he develops in the NFL as a safety, given his strengths. But, however, cue up the highlights, JB, because we will get to see some of these strengths when we watch them. This is a perfect one. This was the one against Rutgers, where Rutgers was trying a screen, and he blew that up. That's one of them diagnosing the play, making it, getting that interception, and because he's so athletic, takes it all the way to the house. I love that back. I love that music, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
Diagnosing the play, making it. This one, seeing that it's a throw out to the flat, boom, hit stick. That's the smarts. That's the flying all over the field and making plays that Mike Sainristil is so good
solid,
at.
clean
Look
hit.
at that one. Makes the hit, forces the fumble.
Nice.
Boom. Put the helmet right on the ball, forces it. Recovered by Michigan. That was Iowa's only scoring threat. He just ended that right away. This one against Bowling Green on a blitz, sack. Versatile type player. As you'll see, I think you'll see highlights here that make him more of a safety in the NFL. This one, he had good coverage on the MSU receiver. Bad throw. Takes it all the way to the house because he is just an athletic specimen. This one against Maryland. Look at that. Playing zone. intercepts the ball, gets into the passing lane, diagnoses it. This one playing man coverage. Maybe
he looks like
can.
a former wide receiver or something.
He does.
Flannel.
Look at that, going up and high pointing the football. So he can cover when asked to. I just don't think he's going to be an outside corner in the NFL because he wasn't even really that in college. This one against MSU. Look at that coverage, though. Look at that coverage. And then playing kind of free safety back there, getting that pick, going to return that one almost to the house. He does get chased down, but still, that is all well and good. Close down the club. Look at that hit, jarring the ball loose. You got to love that. You thought you had a first down. Nope. Nope.
Yeah.
Mike Sainristil again, short pass. Look at that. Just diagnosing these plays, these instincts.
But he's all over the field as a defender,
all over
too,
the field. Tackle for loss in the run game. Love that. Again, just like
solid
goes
tackler.
up and makes tackles.
Golly, solid
Look at
tackler.
that. You'll get your 4 or 5 yards. That's fine. Or you'll drop the ball. You gotta love it. This one, that pick again, great coverage, bad throw, but he gets in the throwing lane, picks it off. Big play. This one has great coverage on, I believe, Jalen McMillan, one of Washington's best receivers. You gotta love that. This one right here, blitz affects the throw, tips it. What ultimately happens?
Smart player.
You gotta love it. Oh, it's beautiful to watch. This one, look at that sure tackle. Jalen McMillan, one of the best receivers in the country, just grabs him.
Pause.
Great coverage again. Great coverage again. And again, I'm not saying he's perfect. Like I said, I outlined some of his flaws, but there's a tackle for loss right there. Just all over the field.
He's in the backfield. He's in the slot. He's playing safety. He's all over the field.
He's basically one of those guys that is just, like you said, a football player. Is he perfect in coverage? No. Does he need to get better at that? Absolutely. But he's a ball hawk. He diagnoses plays. He's smart. He flies around the field. Like I said, how many of these highlights you show somebody making like a 2-yard catch, he diagnoses the play, gets on, makes the stick. Mike Sainristil is going to make somebody very, very happy in the NFL. Somebody who needs him. Is that the Detroit Lions necessarily? Who knows? I'll tell you what. Most of their corners who they have right now played on the outside last year. Amik Robertson, Carlton Davis, even Kendall Vildor, Emmanuel Mosley when you last saw him. The only guy last season who currently plays for the Lions who is primarily a slot corner is Brian Branch, which we would love what Brian Branch did again, and that's kind of one of the arguments I get against Mike Sainristil, and I can understand it. But we already have Branch. But, you know, with some of those 3-4 wide receiver sets that some of these teams run, maybe having another slot corner who can moonlight as a safety as well, and I think that's what he projects to more in the NFL. It's not my first choice at 29, but there's an argument for it, and I think you made it pretty well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Definitely did. And it's not just what gets bantied about on this show, but like we said, we're seeing it nationally.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part. Like the amount of graphics that we've made based off of what people have been talking about with J.J. McCarthy as well as Mike Sainristil. I'm serious. I think that there's a lot more attention that needs to be paid to Sainristil, where he might fall, and the type of player that he's going to be in the NFL. So
I don't have him going to the Lions in the big mock we're about to show, but I have him going in the first round.
Are you teasing your big mock right now?
Mm-hmm.
You know what, man? I'm not going to say that that's good news at all.
Oh, it's phenomenal news.
You can say that it's good news.
Oh, yeah. It's like a Vietnamese currency. It's about to happen.
I did not think that's where you were going with that. I really did.
That could have went so many places. You chose
job,
the safest place. So, oh my gosh. You know what? Hey, you know what? KG's over here cooking in the sound booth, man. He is cooking. And I love play-by-play Flannel.
Oh yeah.
You guys, you're gonna get used to it. You have a future in that, bro.
Oh, thank you.
Straight up.
I did.
I like it.
I do my best. I like how that one was a little bit slower paced, so I could break it down a little bit more. But the reality is that Mike Sainristil, when it comes to defensive players and versatility, there aren't too many but more versatile than him.
Wait, look, Broder's big mock. It's just around the corner, guys.
Oh God.
Hide your wife. Hide your kids.
What's the shadow?
It's time to get down to business.
And we got to get through it because we got five of you guys in the chat. We're reviewing your mocks at 9:15 or as soon as we can get there. So
yes,
I'm going to hustle through this first round because I really want Eduardo, just a fan. Bada bing, bada bing. We got some really good mock drafts in here. I can't wait.
Hey, let's go. Let's go. Oh, Eduardo O'Neill, show me the mock. All right. You know, we got good news and bad news to tell you about. First, the bad news is that insurance rates in the state of Michigan, they are up. They're not just rising. They are already on one, and not the good one, man. But The good news is that Swiss Insurance is here to help. Right now, more than ever, it is important to have your insurance reviewed. Swiss will make sure that your current carrier isn't raising fees or slipping in any extra deductibles or anything of that nature. Call Mark at Swiss Insurance today or visit SwissINS.com and tell them that Woodward Sports sent you.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week, walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Hey, you guys, I know you're tired of wearing that same old Detroit sports merch.
You know it, man.
But let me tell you right now, it is a new era in sports wearables with amazing designs, the ultimate swag. Look, go to woodwardsports.com, click on the shop tab. We are dropping new designs every single week. We got the Brad Holmes guy t-shirt. We got the Woodward Lions. We also got the LFG Red Wings hoodies as well. And you know what? We just put out the Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes election hoodies, which are fire as well, too. Go to woodwardsports.com, click on that shop tab, get swagged out.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Yo, what up, dope people? Welcome back. It's Waco Woodward, man. Our booth is cooking today. That's JB Smooth, man. Hey, that's dope.
I got to shout out Mike G for sending that to me a couple weeks.
Mike G.
Yeah, Mike G is the man.
Yeah.
Hey, it's just one big old family here between the Waco Woodward starting 5 and our chat family. Hey, where are we at in those likes right quick before we get going? 102 likes, chat family. We're that much closer, man.
I hope I can earn some here.
Hey, you guys are going to be able to earn opening day passes to the best party in Detroit. We want to see you guys down at the Opera House. We will be broadcasting live, as well as Big D Energy and the heavyweights are going to be on the loose on the city of Detroit. That's going to be a wild time. That's all I can say. The heavyweights get wild.
Oh, yeah.
for these
Oh,
things.
yeah.
And it's worth the price of admission.
Spinny is already hydrating, so we know what time it is.
But you guys already know it is time.
It's time
for Broder's big mock. All eyes will see.
Yes. Let's do this. I'm gonna roll pretty fast through the first round. But JB, if you could put up the graphic of the trade. This is the theme of this mock draft was aggression. It's teams making aggressive moves to trade up, making smart moves to trade back. But the Lions, they trade up to 18 with the Cincinnati Bengals.
I like it already.
And I actually adjusted this graphic a little bit. Although so what I posted on Twitter, I had them trading a 2025 third rounder. Every time I tried it, it would go through. But the more I thought about it, and some people called me out on Twitter, said that is probably realistic. I was thinking, yeah, they probably need a little bit more juice to move up there. So I put a second rounder. Let me know if that's too much when we get there. Let me know if that's too much for this player. But be ready. At pick 18, you're going to see your Lions. Perfect. So, JB, starting with number 1. No surprise. No surprise to those Chicago Bears, Caleb Williams. The key to this first round, though, or this opener, the Minnesota Vikings do not mess around. They want J.J. McCarthy. They don't want to risk anyone else trading up to 3 to 4, wherever. They go and get J.J. McCarthy at number 2.
J.J. McCarthy.
That. The Patriots get Drake May. Cardinals get Ohio State's Marvin Harrison Jr. But then look at this. The Washington Commanders, who had traded back to number 11. They got number 11 and 23 from the Vikings. They use that capital to get back up and still get Jaden Daniels.
Nice.
From the Chargers at 5. They get what they want. Vikings get what they want. Vikings have to give up a little more, so we like that here in the NFC North. Then we got Giants neighbors, Joe Alt to the Titans. And then the Raiders trading up with Atlanta to get Rome Odunze. Put him opposite Devontae Adams. for whatever quarterback they go with, Aiden O'Connell or who is ever drafted next. I'm going to move on to the next 8 picks, 9 through 16. This is where it starts to get even more fun. Look at this, the Dolphins. The Dolphins.
Whew.
If you could make that offense any more electric, it's adding a tight end. Arguably the best receiving tight end we've seen in a long, long time. They trade up with the Bears, with the Chicago Bears to number 9, to get Brock Bowers. I'd love your guys' thoughts on that. The Chargers, who had traded back from 5 to 11 with the Commanders, they still get their big left tackle, one that Jim Harbaugh has seen up close and personal, except for this last year when Tony Petitti wouldn't let him coach against Olu Fashanu. He goes to the Chargers at 11. Byron Murphy to the Broncos at 12. And then the Falcons, they trade back to 13 and still get Dallas Turner.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it.
That's a move for the Falcons, right? I see them I would take him at 8 if I were them.
Yeah.
They trade back, still get him. Saints get a big tackle. The Colts get Terrion Arnold. And the Seahawks, they get Cooper DeJean. He goes to the Seahawks. They need some cornerback help. They need some safety help. There's the best of both worlds.
I think I know who the Lions are going with at 18.
Who do you think?
Slatu.
From UCLA?
Yep.
Any other guesses from the crew?
I already know.
All right, JV, roll it to the next one. Here we go. Lions at pick 18. Let's go.
Hey. Stop it, man.
They trade up and get arguably the most refined pass rusher in this draft. You could argue definitely Dallas Turner and Jared Verse are maybe more athletic. Maybe their ceiling is higher, but I think Latu is as close to his ceiling right now, not in a bad way. He's nearer to his ceiling than Dallas Turner, which means to me he's plug and play from day one.
Yeah, NFL ready.
Yeah, NFL ready. You put him opposite Aiden Hutchinson. The dude is an absolute beast. He had in the last 2 years. So the big concern, and this is a concern, and would be a concern for Brad Holmes, I think, probably. Latu. Oh, actually, are we playing this?
Yeah.
I want to let him play with the volume on because it's. I want people to hear.
Taking notes of them, the strengths and weaknesses, if they're a high puncher, low puncher. I'm not just throwing a random move. I know that either I need to throw a swipe if he has high hands, or I need to throw something low if he has low hands. So it's just little things that, kind of give me that edge. Definitely wanted it to be blocked a little better, but I think I got through too easily. Nonetheless, I got to Caleb and helped contribute to the win. This whole game, I've been taking the inside pretty cleanly. The weeks leading up, when I'm going up against tackles, guards, centers, I'll write all their names down on a piece of paper, taking notes of them, the strengths and weaknesses, if they're a high puncher, low puncher. I'm not just throwing a random move. I know that either I need to throw a swipe if he has high hands, or I need to throw something low if he has low hands. So it's just little things.
Back to you.
Hey, look, man, you got some mixed reviews here. Bring a lot to pick, man. Yeah, he does. Chefs Talk Lions. Dang it, brother. Let me see here. Newton over him. That's from that guy up north. Eduardo O'Neal. Brother got me ready to bust. I guess your big mock has him ready to bust.
They saying you limp, man.
Eduardo O'Neal, my big mock cannot compare. Mitten Maid, my mock went limp. Give me about 10 minutes. I'm seeing some limp mocks here in the chat.
Yeah. No, there are real concerns about his injury history. He almost had to medically retire when he was at Washington. They didn't clear him to play after that neck injury. But he's played 12 and 13 games in the last 2 years at UCLA. So his durability is less of a concern than I thought. And the dude just continued to produce 27 sacks in these last 2 years, 126 pressures, 23% pass rush win rate, and the 94.5 pass rush grade, all first grade. He graded the first edge rusher by PFF. He's second in pressures in the last 2 years. So he just produces. He's a veteran. Like, his pass rushing bag is as deep as anyone in this draft. He's as much of a veteran as any player in this first round.
Yeah.
Comments?
Oh, I'm ecstatic.
Yeah, I'm
seriously.
Basically, what Latu did last year was he had a 2021 Aiden Hutchinson-like season. He could have made it to New York. And I understand that it wasn't like, Michigan gonna play in the college football playoff and it was UCLA, but still. Nope. When it comes to even him versus Dallas Turner versus Jared Verse, Latu clears both of them in everything, in pass rush win rate and sacks and tackles for loss and PFF grade and pressures and all of that. Everything, run defense grade, everything Latu clears both of them in. And those are two of the top prospects in this draft. I get it. A neck injury is not something that you want for somebody that you draft on their record. But the point is that he has had two in the last 2 seasons. He is the best defensive end in college football. No doubt about it. Full stop after those injuries.
Yeah. And you know what? You're starting to get a little bit of love, man. Shout out Devin the dog. He said, Broder's Big Mont got me bricked up. Logan Collins, I didn't like the Latu pick because the injury, but dude seems super intelligent and coordinated. Would definitely want to see him on the other side of Hutch.
Yeah. You have question marks with Marcus Davenport, even James Houston, if healthy. And that's a big if. I have no problem with you guys be concerned about that. If healthy, this is a 3-down type of player. It's that security blanket on the defensive end. Like, you don't have to worry about him.
Listen, if they have an injury history, they're Brad Holmes guys.
Hey.
That just is what it is. But he's not afraid to take chances on injured players. So, I mean, I would love this pick, personally.
And think about how much it benefits Latu playing on a defensive line that has a Lee McNeil, DJ Reader, and Aiden Hutchinson. It's not just about like help for Hutch, which obviously he's the big dog, he's the best player. Like that's what we really frame everything in. But how much would Latu benefit from playing on that stacked defensive line and also rotating with Davenport and James Houston?
Insanely. What do you guys think about the Bears trading back from 9 and still landing Jackson Powers Johnson?
JB, man.
Which was another option for the Lions to pick at 18.
How you feeling about that, JB? I know that's been your guy all along. Either him or Dallas Turner.
I know. That's hurt both times, too, man. Like, I seen Dallas Turner go in a couple picks before this. But, damn, JPJ is there as well, too. You got Nate Wiggins, not to mention who else
Nate
is
Wiggins
in the next few picks as well, too. That I don't know. I still – my vote is out on Latu right now. I know he shows a lot that, honestly, I think Brad Holmes would enjoy as a Brad Holmes guy and a Dan Campbell guy, but I don't know. My vote is still out on a couple other these guys that are the picks after him. So I'll let Broder continue on.
Cool. We got the last one to point out. Chiefs, they need some wide receiver help even more lately, so they trade up in front of the Cowboys to get Brian Thomas Jr. I think that's a good pick for them. Could you go to the last 8 picks? We'll just roll through this real quick because the Packers land a stud. They get Jared Verse, who somehow falls to them at 25.
Damn it.
Yeah, so, there's a chance Latu, Verse, some of these guys might fall to the 20 to 29 or at least into the 20s where, depending on how patient Brad Holmes is, maybe that cost to trade up isn't as much or someone lands in your lap. Then we got Jeff Olson in the chat, Kool-Aid McKinstry to the Bucks. I'd love to know what you think about that. The Bills, I think, were hoping to get Brian Thomas Jr. They settle on someone with high upside, Adonai Mitchell. Sainristil to another Harbaugh. John doesn't want to wait to let Jim get him at 37 or wait till 62 with their next pick. And then you got Darius Robinson going to the Niners and chop to the Commanders. In all their trade works, they get Jaden Daniels and Chop Robinson in the first round. So they have that 5th year on Chop, replacing Chase Young, replacing Montez Sweat. I think that's a good draft for the Commanders.
Yeah.
Hey, that would be an excellent draft for them. But I've seen at least some people on social media, for whatever reason, their narrative around Chop, it seemed like a lot of people were pro-Chop. But as we get closer to the draft, I've seen people become a little less pro-Chop.
Well, the anti-Chop people are I like to call some of those people, and a lot of you guys also did the same thing when it came to Aiden Hutchinson. KG, count the sacks, bro, guys.
Oh, my God.
Count the sacks, bro. And I get it. He didn't have that many in college, but neither did Trayvon Walker. That's all. I mean, I'm not
the
saying
sacks matter, Sam. That's
that they're
all
the same. I mean, I'm not saying that they don't matter, but they're not everything, and they're also kind of like they can be sort of random based on the offense that you're facing, based on like coverage and all of that. Chop Robinson, he's just as far as athleticism and upside. I don't know if there's a defensive end period in the draft who has more, including Dallas Turner.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. His athleticism is insane. To round this out so we can get to the chat mock drafts, JB, could you just put up the all Lions draft picks, this full draft, and I want your grades in the chat. I want all your guys' grades here in the studio, but I want your grades in the chat for this draft for the Lions because actually, I won't give you my opinion yet, although I've shared it with some people already in the chat. What do you think about this for the Lions?
4 picks in a row. They kind of fit some of the things that people are hoping that the Detroit Lions target in this draft. I can't be mad at it, man. Yeah. I like it.
Cooper Beebe in round 4?
Corley.
Yeah.
You get that pick 115 in the trade up. You gave up your second rounder, but you're getting 115, so you use that to go get BB. And I want to explain Malachi Corley real quick. I you either go with the big body, the Xavier Legette type, and obviously not this late, but the Legette type, or I went Malachi Corley because of his yards after catch ability, because of how hard he is to tackle. The way this NFL is moving with the hip drop tackle rules and just how difficult it's becoming for defenders, I decided to go Malachi Corley for that reason. But Brendan Rice was on the board. I was thinking about him. I really wanted a wide receiver in that spot.
I honestly, when I look at this draft, I look at two names, Laiatu Latu at one.
Yep.
I would love that. Did Cooper Beebe.
At the 4th round.
Cooper Beebe.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Man. Like, I honestly believe that Cooper Beebe, when it's all said and done,
is that Big Mock stuff right there?
That's that's Big Mock stuff.
Big Mock energy.
Will be the second best interior offensive lineman to come out of this draft. The fact that he hasn't risen to the point where he's at least a second round pick is a little bit surprising. And if you can get him at that in the 4th round, and also I think he would be capable of it, but you wouldn't have to start him right away. Maybe it would make it so that re-signing an older Kevin Zeitler isn't a priority. I love that pick. And Kyrie Jackson had a damn good year as the corner for Oregon last year. So that is an A draft. A draft, just for those reasons. Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, let's rock, man. Let's rock. I really like it. Seeing some of the names that we've talked about, kind of going through these big mocks in the past, seeing them here with the Lions. That first pick, I think a lot of people react to, and then when you see the rest of the draft for the Lions that Broder has picked, it's like, okay, I can see the vision. And you know what? People are kind of all over the board with the grading, but the median grade, I would probably say maybe a B- is what the chat's giving you.
How's that a B-? That's
what the chat. And it's pulled down just because the first couple. The Control Alt Geek, he gave it an F. Eduardo O'Neill gave it an A+. Kenneth Matthews gave it an F. But Dante a B. Chef Salk F-. Just a Fan an A. It's all over the place. Mitten Bay B-. Real K Collins A. Bada bing, bada boom, a B+. And that's why I was like, you know what? It's sitting somewhere about a B- from the chat. I think from our crew, I don't want to speak for everybody else. I definitely give it an A.
I get an A. Solid
Chef,
A.
bro, You don't understand me if after what you just said. My point when it comes to defensive ends and edge rushers is that I don't always just look at sacks when it comes to them. I look at stuff like pass rush win rate, like pressures, like hits, like hurries, like pass rush grade when it comes to PFF. And Chop Robinson has all of that in droves. I've always been consistent that I think sacks are a little bit of a... People act like they're the end-all, be-all, and I have never said that. I have never once said that. I defended Aiden Hutchinson against all the slings and arrows because I thought he was doing some other things, but he just wasn't getting home. So if you think I'm just like breaking all the rules when it comes to Chop Robinson, you don't know me. You haven't listened.
You don't know me.
You don't know me.
I thought he was about to start spitting. I was about to say, yo, somebody turn his headphones up.
Right?
Turn his headphones up. Let's get an Eminem beat going. Sam is about to go ham. But hey, overall, I thought it was a pretty good one. Any last words on that?
No, I'm going to be honest. It was one of my favorite all Lions, like those 7 Lions picks. To me, it's hard. It's one of the favorites that I've done, at least. You know, you check a lot of boxes, and you're raising the floor. Latu's the one who comes in day one to help, but we're talking about floor raisers in these draft picks, maybe not starters day one. This is the future.
Hey.
Let's go.
Good job, brother.
Let's go.
Good job.
Can't wait for you guys to see some of these chat mock drafts because there's some similar picks. There's some different ones. It's going to be fun. We got 5.
Oh, so you mean to tell me we get to grade them now the way they're trying to grade
yes,
your big mock?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I see those F- and C's and D's.
So then, you know what? We should do this one a little bit different with the fans. Big mock or little mock. That's it.
Ooh, I like that.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I like it.
So, hey, you know what? I'm ready for this, man. Let's get to this next segment soon. But first, I think you got to tell the people where are we going here, JB?
Grand Slam Fest.
Grand Slam Fest.
That's so appropriate, man. That is so appropriate.
I have a feeling that's in the sound booth.
Oh, yes, it is.
We're at 124 likes, people. Just 11 more to go before we give away that first pass.
All right. So
about it, KG.
Y'all can join us on Friday for 2 great parties, Grand Slam Fest and the opening day block party. Grand Slam Fest will be broadcasting live 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. or come party at the block party at Brass Rail and Love Tequila and the Annex. One ticket gets you into all three. Win your tickets now. Like the stream, comment Grand Slam Fest, and we will select one winner to come to opening day fest on Friday at the Detroit Opera House parking lot, or buy tickets at grandslamfest.com.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports. Every year, after a cold and dreary winter, Metro Detroiters come together for 2 things: Tigers baseball and the best damned party in the world. A new season of Tigers baseball is here, and we're bringing in the new season as only Woodward Sports knows how. Broadcasting live from the biggest party. It's the Grand Slam Festival at the Detroit Opera House. Come party with 4,000 Detroit sports fans, starting with Wake Up Woodward and rolling into Big D Energy. This is a party you don't want to miss, with Detroit's best DJs, food trucks, and of course, shots. Get your tickets now at grandslamfest.com. 21 plus. See you April 5th at the Grand Slam Fest.
Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer. Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit feldmanauto.com to find the location nearest you. Catch Woodward Sports Network live from Feldman Chevrolet of Novi every other Monday.
What up, though, people? Welcome back. I'm really excited about this segment, man.
Yeah,
I am
too.
really excited, chat family. As always, you guys are very appreciated. That's still not going to save you from either getting a big mock or a little mock grade today. It's not going to help or save you today. It's going to be an interesting time. I know you said we got 4 or 5 mock drafts.
Yep. Let's get into it.
Let's get into it and smash that like button. We're very close to reaching that 135 total, so that we can give out that first Grand Slam Fest pass, and it comes with a +1 too.
Let's do it. We're going to start with Eduardo O'Neill's mock draft, JB. And as soon as it comes up in the chat, take a look, give him a grade. Let's break it down.
Yeah, give him either a big mock or a little mock.
Exactly. Oh, that's right. Big mock, little mock. Eduardo O'Neill. This is him trading up in the first round to get Dallas Turner. I'm not going to review all the draft picks because we got, or the trades, because we got a lot to get to. But he made some accurate trades to get up to 14. Dallas Turner at 61. Christian Mahogany, interior offensive lineman out of Boston College, at 129. Kalen Carson, cornerback out of Wake Forest. Marcus Rosemy Jack Saint, wide receiver out of Georgia, at 202. And kicker Will Reichard. What do you guys think?
You know what? As soon as you mentioned the first pick, I saw the desk in the TD booth start to rise a little bit.
Hey, as long as you can trade up and get Dallas Turner, that's my only concern here. Like,
that is huge.
Everything
man.
else you can work around.
I'm sorry, I gotta give this one a big mock.
I'm giving a big mock too, a B+ big mock.
Big mock.
I love going after Turner. I like Christian Mahogany. Like, he's one of those guards. Mahogany, Christian Haynes. I like going that direction at 61. You got your kicker at the end.
Yeah, I would say it's a above average mock, like above average size, like
right around 6 inches or something.
Yeah, like I like.
That's fair.
I mean, Dallas Turner opposite Hutch is another thing that's just. I mean, come on, that
all mocks matter.
With like Dallas Turner, I think out of all the edge rushers, he probably has either him or Chop Robinson have the highest upside. So getting him on a good defensive line, I think, would help him. I like Christian Mahogany. That fills another guy that you wouldn't have to necessarily start right away, but could learn behind Graham Glasgow and Kevin Zeitler. Kalen Carson, that's another one. A need kicker. If I'm grading it, I would say like B-. So above average.
Love it. Randy Smalley gives it a B+. That guy up north gives it a D. Ninja Jinja a B, but that would never happen though, he says. Chuck Brewer says only issue with so few picks, using one on a kicker. You can understand that. Matthew Kruger a D+. Steve DeYoung B+. Dante B+. Eduardo O'Neill says Kalen Carson is a homer pick. You're a big Kalen Carson fan, huh, Eduardo?
That's all right.
So, big mock. I think generally it's a big mock. We're good.
Yeah.
Moving on. Thank you, Eduardo. Just a fan. Let's check out Just a Fan's mock draft here. There were a few trades that he had, but I highlighted the one to move back in the first round with the Kansas City Chiefs. Traded 29 for 31 and 97. A lot the Chiefs are giving up, but he gets Kool-Aid McKinstry, Marshawn Nealon, Jalen McMillan, Christian Mahogany at 97. Then he goes Braylon Allen, Luke McCaffrey, and wide receiver Casey
Why
Washington.
so many receivers?
Yeah, there's 3 receivers.
What do you think about that? Let's talk about it.
It's a little
Few too many receivers?
That's a stubby mock, man. Yeah, it's a little stubby. Yeah, too many receivers. I do like the Luke McCaffrey pick late, but it's
Stubby.
I wouldn't say stubby. Like Kool-Aid being at 31.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I definitely can't hate you for that.
Yep.
Marshawn
Nealon,
Nealon, I like
solid.
that. And again, Marshawn Nealon could benefit from if Marcus Davenport turns back the clock and James Houston gives you an approximation of what he did in 2022.
Yeah.
You could be a rotation guy. Jalen McMillan at 77.
I don't know a lot about him, but
he was the wide receiver for he was the wide receiver for he was the one that spent a lot of the year injured. But he's a damn good player. He did play in the national championship though, and then Christian Mahogany. I'd say the first 4 good, the last 3. I love Braylon Allen I don't think he falls that far.
yeah.
But
Yeah, I'm not mad at getting a running back too. It's just too many receivers.
Randy Smalley says
Above
6
average.
inches, so I'm assuming that means average mock.
yeah, above average mock. Yeah, I'd say that.
Exo Screens gives it a D+. Randy Smalley 6 inches. Doug Durkee B because of the Bronco. Vincent Ellison C-. Real Kate Collins C. Just a Fan A from Eduardo. Let's go. I love the first 4 picks. A few too many wide receivers for me too. I like Luke McCaffrey. You might as well just attack some other areas instead of getting Jalen McMillan or reverse.
Yeah.
I'll give it because the receivers are there. You can't give it too high, but some good players that you just acquired from the Lions
For sure.
or the Lions
For sure.
Onward.
Hey.
Who we got next? My computer's not. Dante 151.
151.
Dante in the chat. Let's see here. One big trade. He trades. He receives number 62 for 73, 201, a future 5th, and a future 7th. So what he does, Kool-Aid McKinstry in round 1 at 29, Marshawn Nealon round 2 at 61, and that trade up. And let me know what you guys think of it regardless, but Dante did send this to me, I believe, before the Brock Wright re-signing happened. So maybe he changes it up then, but I don't think tight end's off the board. I just don't know if you trade those assets to go get a tight end. But then you got Kamal Haddon, who I love, wide receiver Cephas from UTSA.
Another Cephas.
And then another kicker, Will Reichard. Let's hear it, boys.
I mean, Kool-Aid and Marshawn Nealon as the first 2, I believe, like the last draft I like.
Yeah.
Jatavian Sanders. I mean, is there some buyer's remorse? Maybe unmatch the offer for a Brock Wright and get Jatavian Sanders, and later than maybe his talent would indicate he should be. I don't necessarily hate it. I would give this a lot of above average mocks. I can't give it a big one, but it's above average.
I kind of agree with that, man. I can't hate on it. It does hit some of the needs for the Detroit Lions.
It's a big little mock.
You said what?
It's a big little mock.
A big little mock.
I like that term too.
Right.
I'm seeing B's.
It's
I'm
like
seeing 1
whatever-
D+ from Randy Smalley. Like it B from Xavier D. I like it. I'm probably giving it a B-, C+ because you have Brock Wright, and I know we kind of already talked about that. You're doubling up on cornerbacks, which I like the idea before the re-signing of Kindle Vildor. It's like that room is now getting too crowded.
Yeah.
If you don't sign Vildor, I'm pounding the table for Haddon there at 164 if he's there. And if you drafted Jatavian Sanders, you don't need another receiver, Joshua Cephas at 205. So maybe you attack a defensive tackle or an offensive lineman in this draft. I got no problem with the kicker, although he doesn't move the needle for me.
Doesn't at all?
Yeah.
No.
A lot of people
you have
picking
your
him.
eyes set on the Michigan Panthers.
Jake
kicker.
Bates?
Jake Bates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell's not going to use the kicker anyway. Why waste it?
Why? He got big mock energy, right?
He does.
Hey,
Huge.
let's go.
Huge. Let's see. Any other comments to read? Chucky Lewis, D+. I see a semi-firm from LFG.
Semi-firm.
Yeah. Semi-firm.
You guys are creative.
Yeah, so Dante confirmed. This was before the moves yesterday. So with that in mind, it looks better without Brock Wright. But again, you don't need that second wide receiver. B-.
Eduardo O'Neill's asking to see Sam's mock.
We could make that happen.
Oh.
Next week. We could make that happen next week.
All right.
Yeah, for real. We could.
Do it.
Let's do it.
Two more to get through
Sam's
real
big
quick. I
mock?
think 2 more.
Yeah,
Next
you're
week.
right.
Pardon?
Yeah, you're right.
Let's do it. My screen's not loading, so you put up whatever's up there.
Oh, I got you.
And
bada
I will.
bing, bada boom.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Oh, okay.
So he went with Nate Wiggins at 29. Then he traded. He saw Darius Robinson on that board, and he wanted him. So he traded with the Commanders. Round 2, pick 36 they received, and a 6th-round pick. For round 2, pick 61, and a future 3rd. What do you guys think? Doing that to get Darius Robinson, Zach Zinter at 73, Jamari Thrash at 162, another kicker, Joshua Carty from Stanford at 206, then Marcus Harris out of Auburn at 243.
I love the first 3 picks, definitely.
Yeah.
Number 29, Nate Wiggins. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, with Darius Robinson, I mean, again, I like these picks even more because, I mean, Nate Wiggins, I think he definitely has the skill set to play right away, and so does Darius Robinson, but they don't necessarily have to. With Darius Robinson, we know he played some interior defensive line in his career. He played edge last year and really kind of excelled. So on that defensive line, you could definitely use like a versatile rotation piece, at least in the first season, and then maybe get into a starting role as your career goes on. And then Zach Zinter, coming off of a leg injury, he probably should be fully healthy going into the season. But
He don't have to start, though.
He doesn't, and that's the thing. I don't think Zach Zinter is a day one starter, but he doesn't have to be. But Kevin Zeitler is on a 1-year contract. Graham Glasgow.
Gotta look for the future.
Yeah, Graham Glasgow, he's on a 3-year, but how long do you want him to be the starter?
Right. He's
Was last year a bit of an aberration or no? I don't think it is, but having some depth as in the offensive line room is never a bad thing.
Shout
So
out
I like
Mitt
it.
Made. He said this mock hard.
Yeah. It's a big mock for sure. Any info on Jamari Thrash?
What's the question?
I said any info on Jamari Thrash?
Oh, I don't know him too deep. He's good. He's I don't think the type of receiver that the Lions need. Like I believe he's 6'6". He's a good route runner. He's got good hands, but he's kind of fast, but not like lightning quick. He doesn't move the needle for me, but he's definitely in that last tier of like real wide receivers that may be considered.
Okay.
If that makes sense. All right, last one. This got sent in at the last minute from Sixth
A lot of mocks
Sense.
today.
Yeah, a lot of mocks. People are showing them off today. No trades, nice and simple. I'm just going to come right out and say I really like this one.
Yeah.
Latu falls to 29. They take him. Mason McCormick, he's a beast, by the way. Interior offensive lineman, can play both guard positions out of South Dakota State at 61. You get one of the best man coverage cornerbacks at 73 in Renardo Green. Keaton Oladipo, I don't know a ton about. Dosa Dion was talking about him the other day on Tuesday when I was doing mock drafts with Easy and Joseph Dion. He likes Oladapo out of Oregon State. One of my favorite cornerbacks in the draft. I don't think he'll be there at 201. Dwight Nudie McGlothern.
Oh, that's your godson.
Yeah, Nudie. He's a stud.
How appropriate for the big mocks.
Right?
Is Dwight McGlothern this year's a Cody Mock for you, Broder?
Maybe. Although Cody didn't have the year I expected him to for the Bucks. Hopefully he takes a step. But maybe. I like Javon Solomon too.
Okay, all right.
I would give this a big mock.
I'm giving this a big mock too.
Yeah.
This is.
I like Latu. I like Renardo Green. The other players I'm not too familiar with except for McGlothern. But yeah, I like this so far.
Well, this is the first mock draft where if such and such person falls, pick. Latu at 29. And Chef, I will give you credit for this one, even though like you've had yourself a below average day by my estimation. You were the one who actually said in the chat that he could fall to 29 and maybe you wouldn't have to trade up. So I would hope that happens. I hope you're right, but at least in this mock, that's what they have happening. Like I said, Mason McCormick, offensive lineman, Renardo Green, good man coverage corner. I like the first, like most of these drafts, I like the first three. And in a lot of the later rounds, it's kind of like, do I know a ton about them? Not always, but this is definitely a above average, basically above average across the board. None of these have really blown me away, but above average across the board.
You know, man, with the Latu pick, it looks like Sixth Sense and Matthew Broder's mocks have crossed streams a little bit.
Oh my god!
Sword fight.
Holy moly, we are boys. RJ Graham gives it an A+, Ninja Jinja a B+. Eric Allen says, these are some unsolicited mock picks. Silent Service A, B+, Ron Jeremy for value, says Randy Smalley. A-Diz 411 gives it a C, Super Juggernaut, an A-, Joseph Austin. A+, Renardo Green is the pick. Let's go. Wait. Matthew Kruger. Not wasting my first on Edge after acquiring Matthew Betts.
Oh, geez.
That's quite the take, my guy.
Yeah.
Upside.
Matthew Betts fans.
Oh man! Shout out to everybody for sending these in too, man. This is it's dope to be able to interact and feature the chat family as much as we can.
But this also kind of speaks to, and I'll be brief on this. At 29, there weren't a ton of picks that just blew me away, or even trading up. I mean, obviously, I'm a big Latu fan, but I think that also speaks to Brad Holmes can kind of do whatever he wants because this roster, I mean, the starters are pretty much set.
Yeah.
There's not really a ton of needs. You could argue corner, and I would certainly listen with what happened with Cam Sutton, but none of them you expect you need to make an impact right away. And I think that's a great thing, but it also tempers the attachment to said player, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we've continued to say this, and we continue to say this. And he actually said this was the strategy, to go into free agency and try and fill our needs there so that we can just go into the draft and honestly have some fun.
Mm-hmm.
Realistically, be able to pick best player available. Like I said, if they trade up, I'm not going to be as mad as probably we would have been before the draft, before free agency. If they decide to trade back, I'm not going to be as mad. It's a situation now where we just get to sit back, see what Brad Holmes cooks up, and then start to think about how these players will actually complement the guys that we already have in this roster. So.
I love it. How could you be mad at anything?
You
can't. This year, you can't.
Yeah, I'm just ready, man. The Tigers, they got me on a high right now. The Red Wings, especially with Flannel saying, you know what, go make the playoffs, Red Wings. I feel that, you know, and with the Lions right now, it's just like, I don't even know what universe we're in right now. I have no idea. We're talking about the Detroit Lions picking at the bottom of the first round, guys.
Right.
Gotta love it.
We're talking about, hey, they've given themselves the opportunity and ability to just be able to trade up. All these years of trying to defend the Lions on social media, we finally get to defend them appropriately. Shout out to the Lions. I can also tell you where else you can get some good defense too. It's Guardian Alarm. Customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. It is 24/7 professional monitoring. Call us anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. It is technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work, and people have been proven to care. Like our Wake Up Woodward crew and y'all chat family. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT. Once again, that is 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Every year, after a cold and dreary winter, Metro Detroiters come together for two things: Tigers baseball and the best damned party in the world. A new season of Tigers baseball is here, and we're bringing in the new season as only Woodward Sports knows how. Broadcasting live from the biggest party. It's the Grand Slam Festival at the Detroit Opera House. Come party with 4,000 Detroit sports fans, starting with Wake Up Woodward and rolling into Big D Energy. This is a party you don't want to miss, with Detroit's best DJs, food trucks, and of course, shots. Get your tickets now at GrandSlamFest.com. 21 plus. See you April 5th at the Grand Slam Fest. Congratulations to the real coach of the year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Shake Shack and Woodward Sports want to remind you, it's always football season. How would you like to win 2 free tickets to this season's home opener? It's the Shake Shack Quarterback Challenge. If you can throw it on rope, you could be at the home opener. Register today for your chance to win at any Shake Shack locations at woodwardsports.com or scan the QR code right above my head. And maybe before you go to Shake Shack, so it'll make you more hungry, visit Dispo Dispensary today for exclusive new deals and experience a team that curates an unbelievable atmosphere, mixed with fresh inventory from Michigan's largest variety of products. Save the date for 420 at Dispo Dispensary. Dispo is putting on epic events with over 1,000 giveaways at each location. Stay tuned for more details. Dispo Dispensary, disposhops.com, your local cannabis plug.
What up, though, people? Welcome back to the Wake Up Woodward Morning Show. We got the whole starting 5 in the building. Detroit's #1 draft pick, Mr. KG in the sound booth. We got Woodward Sports' MVP, Mr. JB Smooth in the TD booth. Our Lions and Tigers credential beat writer and reporter, Mr. Matthew Broder, whipped out that big mock for all to see today. And now look at you. You got everybody else trying to whip out their mocks as well. That's what we call a leader. That's what we call a leader.
Whatever we got to do to help society.
We got our vet right here, Mr. Flannel Sam Reynolds. And like I said earlier, man, that flannel's crispy, man. You about to have me wearing some flannels too.
Hey, whatever I can. If I can influence people, I like it.
I like
influence. I'm using that pronunciation.
It's your boy, Brandon Dent, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, your Detroit Pistons credential beat writer and reporter for the network. And, hey, chat family, we are at 149 likes.
Wow.
Just a few more likes. We got, 13 more to go until we give away pass number 2. And we will get into that after we tee this up. It's time for the most electrifying segment in sports entertainment. If you smell what JB Smooth is cooking with what's trending. I had to put the stank on there today because The Rock is in town.
Hey, I understand. He is. Jay Bizzle.
I respect it. I respect it, fellas. What's going on? Now, in light of opening day tomorrow for the Detroit Tigers, I want you guys to grade some of these food items that are going around the MLB stadiums right now. First, we'll start off with this one. It is the campfire shake.
I've been seeing this all over.
That's big.
Jason Benetti housed this the other day.
He did.
In 1 inning, he finished it. It actually looks really good. I like sweets. I like that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with an A. I like s'mores.
I like
I want one of those right now. Right now, I want one of those.
All right, so there's that one there. The campfire shake, I believe it's like $15 at their stadium.
How do we get one for our C for the price? Yeah. How do we get one for our broadcast tomorrow? Do the Tigers have something like this?
No.
We might see in this segment.
Let's see.
All right, so the next one I got for you guys. Oh, crap, where'd it go? All right, so this one right here. This is unreal.
What the hell? Is that dumplings?
Is that pierogies?
No, all right. So let me explain this one for you guys right here. So this is called the Renegade. This is a foot-long hot dog topped with pierogies, pot roast, pickles, and onions.
A+. A+.
It's a little much for my taste.
Yeah, it's a little too much. I like pierogies. I just don't know if I like them on a hot dog.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
I can't. I mean, that's a fork and a knife meal. Like that's not a hot dog you hold up and you put in your mouth. That's you got to use a
big
fork.
pause, man. What
is this your first little mock of the day?
Oh yeah, this is a little mock. And I get it, personal preference. I'm not knocking on you if you like it. I'm not a big fan of pickles and onions as it is, and pierogies on a hot dog. I mean, I don't really like pierogies, so
yeah, it's kind of stupid, but
yeah.
What team is this for?
This is for the Pirates.
Oh, that makes sense.
Pirates.
It's basically like
Pittsburgh.
you're getting your potatoes with your pot roast.
Yeah.
With your.
I understand that.
Yeah. What's next?
I understand it.
All right,
I'm hungry
so I know I'm hungry too
Yeah,
now
very.
that I've given you guys these food options that are at a couple ballparks. But next up, this one is for you, Kool-Aid, right now.
Yes, sir.
Because we know You go to Lady Jane's. You get all shaped up nice. You got the ball head going on right now.
go.
So
Ball head.
how much would it
Ball
cost for you
fade.
to tattoo your ball head?
Oh.
This food?
Man, you know what? If the Lions won the Super Bowl,
Stop it.
you know what?
Stop it, bro.
Should I do this? I can't. You know
I
what?
don't-
Because whenever we make these bets on air, they always seem to work out. Yeah, we got to pay up.
Wifey go kill you, man.
Yeah, wifey might kill you on that one.
Don't
but
make
I
a
wanna
bet on
see
air.
you-
Don't make a bet on air.
do not
Yeah,
make
don't.
a bet on air. But let me give you some ideas that you might want to tattoo your head with. So this came out yesterday.
What?
This is Kid Cudi's head.
Oh.
This is the top of his head. He just got tattooed.
No,
Yeah.
Cuddy.
Yeah.
No,
He
Cuddy.
put this out on X saying, giving people a little glimpse inside of my mind.
Jesus.
I think it's kind of sweet.
I mean, it's dope, but I can't imagine that feels good. Having a needle on your scalp like that.
I really don't think so either.
Jesus, man.
Or having Uranus on your head. There's stars and stuff.
Big fan
Little
of
Mock.
big fan of Cuddy. Not
To the
a
other
fan
side.
of this tattoo, but I mean, it's dope though. At least he got good ink. So
Yeah.
a lot of people don't get good ink. So
I hope he said a prayer before this.
Yeah, this has to be painful. Kool-Aid, what you think? Is this for you or no?
No, not at all. Not at all. You know what, Chat family is like, Kool-Aid, don't do it. Don't do
Right.
it. I can't do enough, especially after seeing that, man.
he got
I
like
think that's Little Mock energy.
he got the
I
Grand
can't do it.
Canyon tatted on his damn scalp. Man. That's crazy, man. Shout out Cuddy though, big fan, man. But damn.
Shout out Kid Cudi. But like
Yeah,
I said,
man.
that was a little wild, a little too crazy for me. Next up, I know you guys have road rage sometimes out there on the road.
Oh yeah.
But would you ever get so mad that you would throw your own bumper at another driver?
What?
Frustration here. First, he's going to finish tearing the rear bumper cover off his car, and then wait for Dawson Cram. And his timing and throw was
The commentary though.
here.
Yeah, he did a good job at this right here. I think I would have left my driver gloves on.
Look at
Shit would not have been
face.
so bad.
Race against crime. This is race against crime. He's wearing Pistons teal.
OSHA has a problem with no gloves.
can't do
NASCAR
that.
has a problem
Bad
with
as
walking
hell.
down
What do you
near
think he was gonna
traffic,
call?
and I'm sure he'll get a phone call and
My man had to be the one to
maybe
run
some
him off the
other items
road.
out.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm
Why
not saying
the
it's the
hell?
right thing to do, but I'm saying I understand.
Look at the follow through, too.
Respect to him for, getting back at the driver, but come on, man. You don't do that.
Flannel's face, though.
That's that you could kill someone.
Yeah. They,
I'm not even trying to be like funny, but
they appear to be going at a lower speed than usual. Maybe they were pulling in for a pit stop, but that's crazy though.
it's
Like, throwing
but
the
I
bumper.
know those I can't imagine what it's like getting in a crash during a NASCAR race. So I'm sure you're just like your emotions are all high on that, but you can't throw a bumper at a car.
Yeah, exactly. And lastly, I'll leave you guys with this because you asked for it yesterday. Broder, here's your new girlfriend,
All right, did we find her?
Miss Hoops.
Hey!
Ooh, she's still looking good.
is that
Detroit's own?
Flavor Flav?
Yeah, even Sam here.
Flash Shaquille O'Neal?
That's
Yeah.
Detroit's own.
Yeah, yes. Is this like a possibility?
Oh my god,
Just stop talking.
she still looks good.
Big
man.
Mock energy?
Oh my god, that black do not crack. Jesus.
I said Big Mock energy. This is the Flannel is not giving any mock grade for this one.
Wow.
Oh. What hoops? Don't see a hoops.
What hoops?
You don't shoot hoops, I said.
Good for her.
Big Mock or Little Mock?
Huge.
But that's it for What's Training. I just had to get that one in for you guys.
Oh man, you know what? This isn't helping Tiger Woods at all, man.
It is not helping Tiger
You know,
Woods at all.
shout out to Tiger Woods. You saw the news.
He's going through it right now.
He's going
Again?
through it, man.
What happened?
He's going celibate in preparation for the Masters.
Ain't that
Oh
ironic?
wow.
Yeah, he's going little Mock energy appropriately. This
Maybe
broke
Tiger
during the
should
show.
go celibate. We already know how he get out. So. Yeah, we already know how Tiger get out. Shout out
How
Tiger,
many years
man.
too late? Like 15 years too
Yeah.
late to get
Hey, with
Dog.
him going celibate, he actually might win the whole Masters at this point.
Yeah.
My man's going to be stressed out.
That
Look
boy-
at Broder's face too, dog.
I'm trying to think of the right words to use because training for the Masters while being celibate also requires some master green.
Oh.
You know, there's a joke in there that it hasn't hit me yet.
I'll be stroking.
Or is he? The big question is, or is he not even doing that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well,
Might be.
Oh
might be,
man,
I don't think he's going celibate, man. I'm sorry. I just keep thinking about that damn recorded voicemail that he left on that girl's voice.
You take my phone out of here. Yeah, get my number.
It's epic, man.
My wife checks the.
It's epic, man.
He sounded like such an idiot there, but like shout out Tiger Woods.
Oh yeah, forever.
Yeah, I do. I wonder what his
golfers.
stroke count will be at the Masters.
Damn it.
That's fair. That's fair. That's golf, you know.
Yeah. Shoot.
Hey, look, we have 3 more lights to go until we can give away pass number 2. Let's start.
Have we even done number 1?
That's what I was about to say.
Okay,
let's do pass number 1.
I got a trivia question for you guys. The first person to answer this gets to come to the Grand Slam Fest tomorrow morning. Doors open at 9. Here's a trivia question. What is the national currency of Vietnam? You guys can talk amongst yourselves. I'll watch the chat.
I do not know.
I don't know.
Pesos? I don't know.
Stroke me, stroke me.
I have no idea.
I'm waiting for it to pop up in the chat.
Hey, I hope
somebody Google
gets
search it
Harrison!
crazy.
Harrison Steinberg, dong.
Oh my God. Big mock energy for Harrison today.
Harrison, you are the winner of 2 tickets. Of 1 ticket and a +1 to our Grand Slam Fest tomorrow. There's the first one.
Ding, 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 ding. We are at 164 likes.
Hey.
That is on 1. We get to give away another pass. Oh, man. It's a good day. Good day. You got another one of those questions for us?
I don't. I got to get Harrison's information. I got to type this. I can think of something real quick if you want.
I know we can go to a little live reads in between. What you think?
Do that. Do that first.
Do that. Yeah, we're gonna give away the second pass. It's on the way, you guys.
How about Les Stanford?
Les Stanford, of course. What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. This is exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. The same great service that customers have come to know and trust. On Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
And you know what? After you get that brand new car, head over to Soroki's because Nashville Hot Chicken is back, everybody. Featuring crispy Nashville hot chicken tenders. You got the hot chicken tender sandwich. You also got the hot loaded fries. And you know what? They even got the Nashville hot pizza, which I don't even know, but I want to try that right now. This limited time offer is a must try. Visit Sorokis.com to place your order online. Or you know what? Stop in one of their 11 convenient locations near you. Check it out. It's Nashville hot. It's back, baby.
Let's go.
Yum.
Let's go.
I got a question. It's crispy, too. Crispy.
Let's go.
All right, this is for the second Grand Slam Fest giveaway tickets. All right. What starting pitcher, not combined no-hitter, but what Tigers starting pitcher was the last to throw a no-hitter? So who was the last Detroit Tigers starting pitcher to throw a no-hitter?
Ooh, that is a great question.
Yeah.
He is no longer on the team.
Yeah.
Clearly.
I'll throw that out there.
Ooh, I think they got it.
Mitten Maid.
Yeah.
Mitten Maid. Spencer Turnbull. May 18th, 2021. They beat the Seattle Mariners 5-0. Eric Haas was catching. It was A.J. Hinch's 5th no-hitter that he managed.
Nice.
Now, I believe Mitten Maid, I think he won one on E&E yesterday.
Did he?
Yeah.
Then we can go.
Oh, you can't double up, man.
We can go to round 2. That's fine. Jeff Olson, you got Turnbull, but I know you're in Tampa Bay. You aren't going to be up here tomorrow, are you? Let me know. Otherwise,
who's next then?
Randy Smalley.
Hey.
Randy
Let's
with
go.
8 A's. Shout out to Aziz Ansari. Let's give it to Randy. Jeff Olson, if you're going to be in town, let me know. We'll figure it out. Oh, you're in Michigan.
Hey.
We'll figure out to get you both on the list since I just screwed that up. I'll take care of that. Jeff Olson and Randy Smalley. Let's go.
Hey.
Let's go. Let's go. We'll get them both.
out.
We'll get them both.
Yes,
That
I'm going to
makes
send you
three, man.
guys a
Our chat
message
family
to
was
email
epic.
me. I'll let you guys wrap things up or do some mailbag questions because Eduardo O'Neill has a dope one. He asked on Twitter, too.
Hey.
Randy and Jeff, I'm going to hit you up here right now.
Ooh, I got one from Eduardo O'Neill.
Yeah, that's right.
This is for U of M fans that are also Lions fans. So you want JJ to succeed in the NFL and be best QB. What if he lands in Minnesota? Y'all still want him to be the best? I hope that the Lions win a lot of games versus Minnesota, 38-28, and JJ still puts up numbers.
Yeah.
I'm being
How
honest.
about he just don't go to the Vikings?
How about that? Yeah. Go anywhere else.
Like
Literally
Stafford
anywhere
put up
else.
numbers, and he still lost to the Lions. Right?
Right. Like, that's a good example.
It was a perfect world for a lot of Lions fans out there.
that is a fantastic example. Do some of that, JJ. That'd be nice.
Yeah. Any other mailbag questions in there? You said that Eduardo asked one on Twitter as well?
Yeah, basically it was like, and it was sort of directed at Michigan fans, like Michigan fans who support J.J. McCarthy and want him to do well in the NFL. How much will you support him if he gets drafted by the Minnesota Vikings?
Yeah.
Okay.
And to me, I responded on social. I said, you get drafted to the NFC North, you're dead to me. Like, I can't root for him until he retires.
Michigan man, brother.
Wow. And I kind of had a different response where I'm like,
hey, why?
That's kind of how you are with what
Tell
Tom
him how
Brady,
you
man.
feel.
oh, yeah.
Tell him how you feel.
Not a Tom Brady fan, but that's all right. I was a little bit, he was a little bit before my time as a Michigan fan. I was a big Peyton Manning guy.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay.
That's very on brand.
I understand. That's pretty fair.
It's very
That
on
is pretty
brand.
fair. But you know what? Hey, we got one more mailbag. What would be more poetic, beating Green Bay to advance to the first Super Bowl or beating Aaron Rodgers to win your first Super Bowl? Eduardo O'Neal.
I mean, we already sent A-Rod packing, so, I mean, I guess I would take Packers getting to the Super Bowl, but if we play Aaron Rodgers in the Super Bowl, oh, my God. All the years, all the atonement that we can make up for in one game.
All of his smirks.
Yeah.
All of his comments, all of the stuff talking about us on the Pat McAfee show, just all of it. It's just like one game could realistically erase
shut it up.
all of that. Like, get it
The
out
Hail
of here.
Mary gone.
Yeah, I think it's Aaron Rodgers at this point. I don't even really dislike Jordan Love at this point. But like Aaron Rodgers, but he hasn't had the time. Aaron Rodgers has kind of like had all those years to just torment us. And that would be so much poetic justice.
Yeah. It would. I saw another mailbag question in here as well. That would be absolute poetic justice though. But mailbag.
Like J. Cole.
Huh?
Like J. Cole.
Yep.
Yeah. Definitely. You know what? That's where Braden's going this weekend, man. J. Cole concert down
I
in
thought it was
North
Kendrick,
Carolina.
or is it both?
Yeah, that is Kendrick. Kendrick and Drake.
Yeah, Kendrick.
But Shad, mailbag.
Drake?
Do you think it's a coincidence that Reynolds and CJGJ both left having opinions on this fan base that's questioning our behavior towards players? Having money doesn't change natural emotions. And just to be fair, Reynolds came out and put out a statement that those reports, at least on him, weren't true. CJGJ, there's no way he could do that because he was the one who actually posted the
Exactly.
comments.
Right.
You know, as it relates to at least CJGJ, man, what do you guys feel about that?
I mean, speaking of on brand, that's as on brand shot as can possibly be. Because I think people like Shad, for example, I don't like this mindset, and I think Shad has it, and I've seen it on Twitter. It's kind of pervasive, and I don't love it, where if you criticize anything about a Lions player, you're quote unquote trashing our players. I've said, I'll start with Josh Reynolds, for example. I actually would have been okay with him coming back. And I know those reports, I guess, weren't true. But I can't blame fans for also looking at him as the poster child for the missed opportunity in the NFC Championship game. I'm not going to kill you for that because it's not that easy to just get over as some people want you to do. And when it comes to C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and I'm not going to elaborate too much because people will get annoyed by it because I'm not going to keep victory lapping. My thing was always, we didn't have to love him. He didn't do a whole lot. It wasn't his fault, but as far as impacting this Lions team, he didn't play enough games. And he made more headlines off the field, and he was absolutely horrific in the NFC Championship game, both on the field and with his penalty waving to the fans. So it's okay to criticize players. Players just have to realize their status and have a little bit thicker skin, especially CJGJ.
Hey, Logan Collar said Reynolds will be welcome back. CJ, not so much.
Yeah.
I agree.
Point,
like I said, I wanted Josh Reynolds back, but I'm okay with him not being back too.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the show today, man. It was a lot of Big Mock energy on this one, man. If I had to rate, this show would be Big Mock today. Definitely.
Yes.
We always a Big Mock.
And
Stop
the
playing.
Chat family, too. You talking about coming through. 173 likes, man. Chat. You guys, give yourselves a hand. Definitely.
Thank you.
Any last words before we break this down?
Can't wait for opening day tomorrow.
Yeah. Wait, that's the last word.
Manning, we got Mize on the mound at 12:10. We got Manning on the mound at 3:40. And then hopefully, unofficially, Tarek Skubal tomorrow.
Oh, Mize, Manning, and
do
Skubal back to back to back. Oh, my God.
No,
Big Mock energy rising over there with Flannel. I like it.
Hey.
I like it. Brother. Hey, man, before we break it down, tell me about this shirt real quick.
Oh, this shirt, Wendy Peppercorns. This is a nod to the Sandlot. Wendy's, obviously. She knows exactly what she's doing. Yeah.
She don't know what she's doing.
Smalls.
Twins.
Yeah.
I saw a couple people put the reference in the chat, so I thought, you know what, let's definitely shout it out. But let's break this thing down, man. We got the whole starting five in the building. So you guys already know we got to shout out Mr. KG, Detroit's #1 draft pick, Mr. Twitterless. You can't add him. You gotta just. How do people find you?
Exclusive, man. I choose who I interact with.
Hey, I like it.
And we got Woodward Sports' MVP, Mr. JB Smooth and a J Bizzle.
What's up, fellas? Today's been a very funny show. Big Mock energy all day.
Let's go.
Every day.
And you know what? Let's go to the man of the Big Mock at 9 o'clock hour, Mr. Matthew Broder himself.
Unpausable.
Fast forward. Lions and Tigers.
What?
Credential beat writer reporter.
Shout out to Ozzie Smith, Hall of Famer. Let's go, baby.
Hey, you know what, man? I was looking at Dave Chappelle. I got stuck in the rabbit hole last night. I was looking at him with Wayne Brady.
Oh,
that was hilarious.
I love
the
that
Rick James
episode.
one. Yeah.
Riverside, mother.
Wayne Brady gonna have to smack him.
Eat the sandwich,
Just
Dave.
go around shooting people, Wayne.
Right.
Give me a sandwich.
Eat the sandwich, Dave. Eat the sandwich.
Do we have a problem, Dave?
You think Dave Chappelle? He just saved your life.
Then we looked at the stand-up too, dog.
What is this?
Hey, baby. I was so nervous I had to buy a couple bags off of the car.
It's 3 a.m. What you doing on the corner?
Oh, my God.
Halloween.
That is a great skit.
Oh, man.
Shout Dave, man. Oh, my God.
We got our vet, man, the vet of the squad, man, who's held down this slot for some time, Mr. Flannel Sam Reynolds.
Yeah.
Hey, just to respond to you, Matt Broder, really quick, Andrelton Simmons is a better defensive shortstop than Ozzie Smith ever was, and he wouldn't even be considered for the Hall of Fame.
Yo, Flannel, there we go.
You can't do that at 10:06.
I know. You did it at like 10:04.30 or whatever.
I love this, dog.
You're the man.
Shout out to our guest, the Doc John Maakaron, publisher of All Lions for Sports Illustrated, host of Detroit Sports Podcast. It was awesome to have him on. Shout out to Chauncey Billups getting into the Hall of Fame. He had to represent today as well. I'm your boy Brandon Day, aka Detroit Kool-Aid, your Detroit Pistons credential writer and reporter. Thank you, chat family. Hit that like on the way out if you haven't already. This is Wake Up Woodward.
See you tomorrow, Comerica.
Woo! Yeah. Let's go! Let's go!
I'd rather get laughed at for trying than to stand on the sideline and just watch. Whether I look like a dumbass or I fail or I'm like cringy, at the end of the day, like we're all gonna die. Like who cares? Like that's kind of my thing for life. It's just I'd rather get made fun of for trying than just be too afraid to try at all.
I've been waiting, all that's left to do is run you in the hand of the 1, 2, no! Are you kidding me? Dude, I thought he had it, dude. Oh! Sorry, no. Physically jizzled. He's physically jizzled, baby.
He needs to be put in better positions to succeed, and I don't think he's getting that opportunity right now.
This mofo spin. He's spitting. Oh my Lanta. He's spitting for sure. Polo J.